Yeah, buddies, it's the Ron and Fez Show on a Tuesday. This is our first show in the year 2015. We said we weren't coming back until after the college football playoffs were done. I picked Ohio State. Shelby picked Ohio State and the score against his own state of Oregon.
I had it within 1 point.
Chris Stanley picked, of course, Oregon.
Oregon Ducks.
I believe it's pronounced Oregon, gentlemen.
And Fez Watley, I don't think you picked it all, did you?
No, but I was supporting Oregon.
How could you support something? Because of your hate for Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer hate.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because he left Florida Gators. Did you watch the game last night?
I didn't watch a single play.
That's weird to me. The game was as bad as a college football game. One team had 4 turnovers and romped over the other team.
Unbelievable. I hate college football.
It's really bad.
What's a third-string quarterback?
A third-string quarterback who, by the way, they were talking about he may have to just jump into the draft this year because he isn't going to start again.
Yeah, why not?
For Ohio State.
Hey, well, the fire's hot. Jump up.
No, it's not like his thing. He won't be back as a starter. That's how fucking deep Urban Meyer has that. It was an ass-kicking. It was an embarrassment. The flying Hawaiian just looked like I told you he was going to look, like a guy not ready for the big time.
At first, his first possession was okay, though. They got a touchdown, and then...
Actually, you're right about that. The first possession looked good. Then they had a big, long score, which, who doesn't like that?
Exciting.
And that was it for the night. Other than that, he was shut the fuck down.
Really,
And then when he walked off crying, I kind of felt bad for him. Because I'm like, yeah, we did go over and fuck up that island, too. I mean, that was a beautiful paradise.
I was pissed. I started yelling at the television, what the fuck are you doing crying? You made me look like an idiot yet.
You were still mad that long after the romp?
Yes.
That long into it? You hadn't already just kind of
I'm
met yourself halfway?
I'm sick of making bad picks. It was pissed me off. I put all my love and hope into Marcus Mariota.
I don't know why you did.
Because I'm an idiot.
Hey, Cooch, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, cousins.
Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, thanks, Pepper. Thank you for picking Oregon, man. First of all, you said it was going to be Oregon 59-42, and you said for a total of 111. That's 101.
All right.
So
big deal.
I ran down to Mexico as fast as I could as soon as I got off work, and I put $200 on Ohio State. So thanks a lot, man. You're golden. Keep picking teams for me, please.
Now you got to jump on the other side of the border and pick up your buddy?
Yeah. It's just I live right on the border, so I just go down there, take a walk down there, grab a beer, grab some tacos, pick up my money.
It seems too much like No Country for Old Men to me to fucking feel comfortable.
Anton
with
that. Chigurh's over there, ready to put a goddamn bullet in your head.
No, it's good. It's good. There's a shitload of Canadians down there because they come down there and get cheap drugs, so you just got to wait in the line. That kind of sucks. But Pepper, you'd love it, man.
The only thing better than drugs is cheap drugs.
Look, they're expired, but they're still good.
Anyway, thanks for the pick, buddy. Take it easy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good work. Good work betting against me.
Well, it's got to be done.
That's
where the lucky money is. I'll tell you what, to make it up for this, because I kind of feel like Fez lost too, I'm going to make him take us all out to Golden Corral tonight.
Oh, nice.
Now we got to drive deep into the suburbs to find one. I don't know where there's a Golden Corral, but they keep showing those commercials as if that's the best bread that's ever been done.
I love when those like bad places just like really push it. It's like,
look at the buns on the Golden Corral bread.
And it's all you can eat steak and a chocolate fountain.
You know quite a bit about the old corral, don't you, for 11 cents?
We gotta go to Jersey to get to a Golden Corral.
Of course you do. You gotta go deep into Jersey too, I bet. Yeah. That's about an hour drive from here. What town is that?
Freehold?
There you have it. You know who was born in Freehold?
Who?
Mr. Bruce Springsteen, my friend.
Did not know that.
The Rangers had a homecoming in Harlem late last night. So yeah, that game last night was just
It was a joke.
well, yeah, it was a joke. It's like why you don't pay attention to the West Coast teams. The West Coast teams are
A bunch of pretenders,
Yeah.
losers, jerks. What that kid Ezekiel put up like 250 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, but, normally, those West Coast guys, they're playing against others. Like, Oregon always struggles with Stanford because they take football somewhat seriously. So that's a rough game for them.
Yeah.
But it's like when Notre Dame has a big year. I was like, I don't know. It looks like they're going, and they play a place that pays attention to football, and they get the shit beat out of them.
They were great beating up scrubs.
Yeah, they do. They beat up a lot of fucking scrubs all year.
That's why
But Urban Meyer, now, the guy you hate, Fez, you can't take this away from him. He goes up, he's won in 2 different schools, only the second person who's done that. He's got 3 national championships. That's a pretty small class. He's got to be up there big. And the first team ever to win in the playoff system. So that's somewhat history.
Yeah.
It makes me think this. Like the Super Bowl, right?
Oh.
No one pays attention to anything that happened before the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Why,
They
yeah.
act like Bart Starrs won 2 championships when I think he probably won like 5, right?
Yeah.
So that's the weird thing about this. This might be the beginning.
And it's only going to get bigger. They already said they wanted more teams when they had the 4 in this time. It's just going to get bigger.
Well, they forced us to watch, didn't they? Here's a guy like myself who doesn't give a shit about college football, and I was locked and loaded the last couple weeks.
Generations from now, this is going to be called the Meyer Trophy. When
could
you
be.
win the national title.
It could be. I'm glad that you go with it, though, instead of fighting it. And that reminds me of Shelb betting against and cheering against his own home state. It's a strange thing to do.
Well, the University of Oregon, that's like a rich kid's school. If
All right, what is yours then?
Probably Oregon State. Go with the
But
Beavers.
it's the probably that's not definitive
Yeah,
enough. Because I didn't know that you went from that direction. That makes a little more sense to me. I get it. Which is the one that Nike kind of started at?
That's Oregon. That's the University of Oregon. The one last night. They pay for like everything. Their locker room is way better than every NFL locker room. It's insane.
I don't know who needs a good locker room.
And New
You know what I
Jersey-
mean? Like, I don't care if I have a soft chair there. I'll tell you this, for all the bragging they do, all those kids' knees are exposed throughout the entire game. I remember years ago, they would have stopped the game if they would have saw a kneecap. And now it's basically guys wearing shorts.
It was very strange. It was almost like erotic.
That makes me...
Wow, this locker room is really nice. It's like a chaise lounge.
Yeah, you know what? You look like a fucking Holiday Inn and fucking Tunica. What do I give a shit? Who cares how nice your locker room
It
is?
certainly ain't helping them win fucking championships.
I remember when they put it out, they're like, oh, there's video games and a waterfall and screens. Like, oh, can you like learn plays? And like, is there a trainer's room in there?
Well, look, let's face it. They did fucking beat Alabama. They went up, and, there was some talk that maybe this Hawaiian kid would go to Tampa. That ain't happening.
No, they're going to take Winston. Or they're going to trade it. I mean, I think they're going to take Winston, personally.
I think you're probably right.
And it's a mistake.
And where do you think the Hawaiian kid will go now?
He's going to drop way down, and he'll be a backup. I say he'll be a backup for the Panthers.
Let me ask you this. Would you take him if you were in Philadelphia? And you have that kind of, offense. And he's played in that system. I mean, the one system that it would seem that he would somewhat be set up for is that one. Where any place that has a pocket, no. He doesn't fucking belong there. And the weird thing, that a kid in Ohio fucking hung in the pocket. Fez, he won the national championship and played his third game.
Yeah.
His third fucking game.
None of it makes sense.
It makes nothing but sense. It's college football.
Yeah,
it's no big deal. John, in Florida, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey there, Ronnie B. It's a good day. Good morning. I'd just like to thank Chris Stanley for being a jinx and son of a bitch as he usually is. And he made me a couple bucks there last.
Bet against the jinx.
You're welcome, sir. That's for you.
That's what we should be promoting to new fucking subscribers. Bet against the jinx.
And people making money off me. Can I get like a taste of that? Is that wrong to ask for?
Then that would fuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you benefit with will go in the opposite direction. That's like when a real jinx is like, oh, then I'm going to act like I want New England to win. And then that fucking just helps.
You can't pull that shit.
You can't fucking play with the evil powers of the universe. Here's a guy who was on... Well, actually, he put his hand out and pulled me up on the bandwagon with him on Ohio. It's Hard Rock Johnny.
Hello, boys.
Yeah.
It's Pepper. You're an idiot. First of all, because I went
Pepper
3 for 4
doesn't
on the
watch
weekend.
the games.
3 for 4 on the weekend. 1 for 1 on the Monday.
Oh,
All right, you know what? Wait, now that I got my ace fucking guy here, Johnny, what's your picks this weekend?
I haven't handicapped the games this weekend yet, but off the top of my head, I'm seeing New England and Seattle in the Super Bowl. Don't know who's going to cover yet. I got to look at it a little more.
I'm not going to lock it in. Okay,
No,
I'm going to give
yet.
you the rest of the week to
Friday.
work it out.
We'll do
But
Friday picks.
would that be something if this fucking kid in Seattle goes and plays back to back the two locked in Hall of Famers of his time in the Super Bowl? You know what I mean?
In his, fourth season?
If he beats them both, I think this is his third season. If he beats them one after another, what does that say about him? Although it's going to be, I know that you guys all hate Tom Brady. It would be tough for me to root against Tom Brady in this Super Bowl.
It'd be his 6th Super Bowl.
It would be sad to see him go 3-3.
That would be such a blemish.
And if Peyton is leaving football now, his playoff record is downright atrocious.
He's horrible in the big game. He's just it's atrocious. In the big
think
game.
6 times he went out as the home quarterback in the first fucking round, which means 6 times he got his team a better record, only to lose in the first round. It's almost impossible.
Eli would definitely be the better Manning at this point.
At any point.
Hard to say, but but that game last night was just ridiculous. 12 gauge back there running when he ran up the middle and ran over a nose tackle.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was just insane. I mean, granted, he 3 interceptions. It was, not the most accurate passer, but man, they just kept running the counter. And I have to say, I don't know which channel of ESPN you watched it on, but watching the film room one is what I watched, and that was the 6 coaches sitting around dissecting the plays as they happen. Was absolutely amazing to watch. They're like saying, well, they're going to do a counter here, and boom, they'd run the play, and it was pretty amazing. And I think ESPN did a really, really good job with all the different versions of the game they broadcast, and it was massive ratings overnight, just unbelievably massive.
Well, nothing's bigger than football, and I'm telling you, college football is the second biggest league right now. Second biggest league. And I think it could go back and repass pro football one day. Certainly in terms of gate. Because football, pro football teams, who cares whether you go to the game or not? But college is this rave. You go there, you take drugs, you fucking hang out with young girls.
Yeah, I love rolling.
Yeah, of course you do. You love to get fucking highs.
Waiting for that drop to happen.
Yeah. And that's what this is. Johnny, all those guys that try to tell us speed, 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 it's like they've never been punched in the nose before.
Nope, and
because
that's it.
they got fucking clipped last night. First of all, you fucking turn the ball over 4 times and still dominate the other team?
Win by 20. 20-plus points, and you turn over 4 turnovers. You're a -4.
22 points.
It was ridiculous.
It was absolutely, and it was, they had a plan, and then you get punched in the face, and that plan goes right out the door.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Just
the
like
second you're sitting there, your fucking eyes are watering, your nose closes up because it's clotting with blood, and you're like, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called you names. I made a mistake.
And all those people saying the SEC power, all that stuff, Big Ten showed them a little bit what's going on still in college football. They're still around.
All right, Fez is going to take us out of Golden Corral in Freehold. So we're going to stop and pick you up on the way there.
Or do you want to just meet us?
I'll meet you. We can go to my shore house. That's right by my shore house.
All right, talk to you later.
Later, boys.
Peace. You're an embarrassment, Chris Stanley.
Yet again, I've screwed it up. Well, I made my picks yesterday.
You're a piece of fucking garbage.
I wouldn't go that far. Just still, like, I'm on a slow streak right now. I cooled off a little bit, but this weekend I'm gonna get hot again. I told you, Colts, Seahawks,
Colts. What are you talking about? Manson, Waco? What cult?
No, Indianapolis
is coming in to play this?
Indianapolis Colts. Colts, Seahawks, Super Bowl.
Well, I'm going to ask you also to pick fucking lines, Chris. I'm going to ask you to go that far. You got till the end of the week.
Okay. I'll lock them in on Friday, and everyone's going to make money. Not like this past weekend or yesterday.
Cajun Jack says that West Coast team beat Florida State. Florida State sucked this year, and everybody fucking knew it. Florida State had a schedule like they were a West Coast team. I wouldn't sit around fucking bragging about Oregon after last night.
No, it's a joke school. For it to get beaten that badly at 4 turnovers and get run all over, I mean, it's ridiculous. Just shut down the program after that beating.
Tim Knight loves Golden Corral.
Never been, so I'm excited about this. I've only seen the commercials.
Ryan Young says that motherfucking jinx Chris Stanley better take the Colts this weekend, or I'll have his 4 hooves broken.
Bring it, dude. You'll have to listen on Friday to get my picks.
Lurch writes to us, greetings, fellow Earthlings. Who says that we are? Who says that we're actually Earthlings?
I ain't saying anything. I'm keeping my mouth shut. All right. Golden Corral Buffet.
Yeah. Buffett.
They play Buffett in there as you're eating the Buffett?
No, but I'll put them on your headphones if that's what you're after, Chris.
Definitely. Let's hear some Son of the
Living on sponge cake. Do we still have a Buffett station here?
I believe it's online. But yes, there's still...
Oh, just online. It's not...
Yeah, Margaritaville Radio.
Okay. You don't have to look it up. Just fucking relax. Be a person.
I'm a dude.
I'm a dude. Yeah, yeah. Now, you came to me today and said that you want some change in your job description.
Yeah. I feel like I need to be in total control of all loading of audio for replays on demand across the channels that our stuff plays. I feel I need this in my job description now.
So you want to go back and do that kind of work?
I don't want to, but I feel I need to. So that's why I came to you. I feel like this is a job that should not be screwed up and that should be done perfectly so that there aren't any problems with clocks, there aren't any problems with listeners hearing segments replay, and just have our replays loaded on a daily basis.
Why wasn't I told about this before?
Well, last night.
I don't want to hear other details.
Okay.
But why did it take so long for me to hear about it?
Because I thought that the person, Shelby, who should be doing it, would learn from mistakes and fix it. But now I just see that it's not going to get fixed, and I need to do it.
All right, I'm going to give that to you. And what are you doing now? Booking and stuff like that?
Booking, prep.
I'm going to give that to Fez.
Okay.
You are the king of booking at this point. It should be interesting.
Scheduling also, that goes in with booking.
Scheduling and booking. Can you do it, Fez?
Yes, I will do it.
I didn't say, will you do it? I say, can you do it?
But yeah, so now I find myself, loading the replay and on demand.
All right. Done deal. Locked.
All right.
Locked and loaded. Everybody gets what they want. Ken, Rhode Island, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron. Happy New Year. How you doing?
Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Thanks, man. Hey, listen, I didn't hear anybody bring this up. Maybe it's just me. I didn't have a dog in that game last night. I didn't care who won, really. But I kind of thought that last touchdown Ohio State scored was really a classless move. I mean, Oregon was obviously beaten emotionally, physically. I mean, why didn't the guy just take a knee? I mean,
that's what they would have done in the old days. There's no doubt about it. It actually crossed my mind as well. But then college football became all about running it up.
It's classless. He said it's the classy move would have been, but I think that it's just become a classless thing. It's just, hey, let's just get the score up.
College football is classless, you mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
100%.
It's something that in the past, it would. The fact that Ken, you're the only one who brought it up goes to show that it's the American public has changed the way they looked at this. And one of the reasons why I think they don't take knees is because people gamble and they get concerned over point spreads.
Yeah, I didn't think it was at stake at that point, though. I wouldn't have really.
No, but I think they're not even supposed to be looking at each, like, hey, we're supposed to lose by 8.5. I don't think so. I see us covering, says Urban Meyer. We might not win, but we'll definitely cover.
Don't you worry.
Just another reason to hate Urban Meyer. I'm with Fez on that.
And why do you hate him, Ken?
Well, because, as I said, I had no dog in that game last night because I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, so I'll always hate him for being a Florida coach.
Well, see, that's the thing, and that's why Fez doesn't want James Winston to come to his team because he's Florida State, and so Fez's family hates him. But that's where you say to yourself, oh, wait, is college football more important than pros? Because it kind of is down there in Florida. I would say that the three big college teams are more important to people than the three big pro teams in that state.
Absolutely, and the attendance alone.
That's why I would like to get rid of the pro teams in Florida. They're fucking up the league for everybody else.
True.
All right, Ken, good call on the whatever happened to taking a knee. It just does not happen anymore.
It's just
you just don't see it.
It's just like it's expected to not, to fucking run it up, at least in college football.
But, here's the thing, too. Let's suppose you try to take a respectable knee. You have to put the guys all around you, or else somebody will take a shot at your quarterback and try to rip the ball out of his hands or rip his head off his shoulders. Where's the sportsmanship in that as well? I mean, if we're taking a knee to end the game, let's all act like the fucking game's over.
We know it's over, everybody. Let's just chill out.
Yeah. Sean in Ohio. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, cousin.
Hey, cousin.
Hey, one of the reasons I believe that they ended up scoring, you have to take into consideration that they're also playing for next year's rankings as well. The top four, they make the playoffs again next year. So you have to take into consideration this actually helps them.
All right, let's say this then. You're number one. Going into next year, you're number one, and you've got to be not. And that's why I did say, even though Florida State had a shittier schedule and played shitty, hey, nobody fucking beat him. You got to fucking beat. You got to beat the guy. You want to beat a man, you got to beat the man. But you know what? in the midst of all this, Sean, and I'm happy for you there in Ohio, Ken is right. You're a bunch of fucking classless bullies who beat up that effeminate team from Oregon.
That poor Islander just got slapped around.
Kyle, in Oregon, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Once Chip Kelly said, you want to stop us, you know, if you don't want us to run the score up, then stop us. So the douchebag from used to be Oregon's coach, you know, said that. So good for Ohio.
It is. I mean, we've gotten away from the fact that the reason that you play sports is to build character in young men. We all realize that's bullshit. And running it up doesn't even look odd to us anymore. Somebody says to you, Pepper.
Yeah.
Luke says this. Hey, dummy. I mean, hey, Pepper.
Oh.
What's on channel 24 on my XM?
Oh, Margaritaville Radio. I heard wrong then. But I was correct in that we still have that station.
Jay says, Pepper, stick to snorting lines because you don't know shit about picking them.
I know plenty, all right? I have one bad weekend. People lose faith in me. Fair weather fans, I say. And yeah, Radio Margaritaville's on Channel 24, Sirius XM. Online and off.
Scott says, Fez is rolling with the punches. This is getting interesting. It is true. He is rolling with the fucking punches. That is true. Dan in Florida.
Hi, buddies.
Yeah.
Hey, Pepper, just want to give you a heads up, man. Just so, I mean, it looks like a real classy joint and all, but Golden Corral's like the equivalent to like a Walmart of a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So it's fucking, it's almost inedible.
You're paying for everybody too, so bring at least $20.
I got it. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He obviously has never heard of never-ending bread pudding.
That guy was just a downer.
I think they could be used for using the term bread pudding. Colbert announced his premiere date, September 8th. So when is Letterman stopping?
He is done May 20th.
So they're taking the entire summer off.
I think it's brilliant on CBS's part. NBC always does one Tonight Show host into the other. I think you run Dave reruns through the summer, let people get used to not seeing live shows, maybe even get a little sick of the Letterman reruns, bring in Colbert the day after Labor Day, and boom, it's a whole new school year.
Okay, let me just tell you something about Fez Whatley. The guy's a fucking marketing genius. He just laid out a fucking plan for us. You know, even right down to, you know what? Make them hate Letterman. Let's rerun all the worst. Let's go back and find every day that Dave had a bad show, put it out there until people are like, I can't watch this shit anymore. And then just, you know, little Jimmy's over there and he's hearing the drums, you know? He's hearing the jungle drums at night when he tries to lay down to sleep.
He's not going to be able to relax during the summer.
Well, I got news for you. He's got a bit that I think is going to be tough for Colbert to beat.
What's that?
Quarters. He plays quarters with people when they come out.
Love it. I like beer pong, too.
But you're not concerned about them going over the summer, I'll just become a Jimmy Fallon fan or a Jimmy Kimmel fan?
I think you're building up the hype all summer long. Nobody's around during the summer anyway to turn on their TVs.
Well, wait. Kids watch TV in the summer even. Late night, you're around.
I was looking forward to Summer Colbert, to be totally honest. I wanted a Summer Colbert.
I'm going to give you a hint that I heard from some friends of mine at CBS. He's not using the name Stephen Colbert.
Really?
Yeah. He's going with Jimmy Colbert. Because if you want... Jimmy almost means late night right now. You got to be a Jimmy.
I don't like this one bit. I'm going to have to get used to this Jimmy Colbert character.
Call me Jim. I always didn't even say that when anyone said that to him. Just call me Jim. Hey, I'm Jim Fallon, everybody. Want to play quarters?
We have it set up right next to us.
I would love to be a writer on that show because I would come up with Pictionary. Let's just have you and the guests play Pictionary.
Is Battleship an option? Like a giant version of Battleship?
They've done that.
Oh, have they really?
I'm pretty sure they have played Battleship.
I'm going to sit up at fucking 12 o'clock at night watching somebody go B9. All right, I want to look into it to see whether Fez is lying or not. And make sure you're going to load all this properly.
This will all be loaded properly, timed out correctly. It will be no problem.
So you will not be here for the after show get together anymore? You'll be loading instead?
I'll be loading.
All right.
I'll be load boy.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry, I stepped on you. What was it?
I was saying congratulations.
Loader boy. Look at fucking Loader boy. Why don't you start going under the name Kurt Loader? Fucking bring that shit back.
I found Jimmy playing Battleship with Johnny Knoxville.
Okay.
It is a giant.
And then what happens? Then you got to eat ice cream if you fucking don't get it.
I
or
think
something?
there's booze in the cups.
Yeah.
Looks like booze.
Tom, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, cousin. Big
Hey,
ass
cousin.
5298.
Hey, bro.
Hoo-ah!
Listen, talking about this late night stuff. After Craig Ferguson left, they did a week of Drew Carey guest hosting, and then last night they premiered what apparently is the nighttime version of that daytime show, The Talk, that CBS thing. And they brought on this horribly emasculated Ozzy Osbourne. It was unwatchable. I'd never seen this thing before. These cackling women, it was horrible.
Yeah, the Talk is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're like The View, but instead of like having a view, they just take a talk.
Oh, they just have a talk amongst each other.
Yeah. So what I love that they do is like if a guest does the show, there's like 5 of them, they each ask one pre-written question. What? And I'm just like, oh my God, this is driving me nuts.
So they all have to get in on the interview, and that one of them like has...
Yeah, but they read it. You know what I mean? So they'll be like, when you did The Hobbit, did you enjoy the fake ears that you had to put on every day? And then that person's done.
It goes to whatever, to whoever's next. I saw the Last Hobbit. Boy, was that terrible.
All the Hobbits were terrible.
The first one was okay. The last two were truly terrible.
It was not. It was like watching these fucking computer ants running around.
I might have gotten caught up in it.
You get caught up all the time. You're like Fez with the Star Wars, where you say you love it, and then you go 8 times, and later you go, that sucked.
Look, Lord of the Rings were great. I'll stand by those. Hobbit, no.
Who's down doing a thing today? Who's Chris Hemsworth?
Oh, that's Thor. Yeah, it's Thor.
And he's here with Michael Mann. Why are those two together?
Oh, for the hacker movie, Black Hat.
Is it going to be good?
I want to see it because I like hacker movies. I don't know if it's
really.
Going to be good.
Are you on the side of ISIS now?
No, I'm not.
That's who fucking hacks people.
No, I like hacker films.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. North Korean and ISIS.
I'm American, born and bred.
Yeah, but you work against your own goddamn country.
Definitely not. I'm just a fan of Black Hat.
All right, Fez, you are no longer into sports, right? You're done with sports.
Yeah, because football was the only thing I watched, and I've cut that out.
Let me take you back to politics, something that you're an expert in. When does the presidential thing heat up?
It will start in, I would believe, the fall, when people start finally announcing.
Well, they're really starting to announce now, my friend. There's a lot of people, even the Huckabee thing, and
Romney's talking a lot, too.
Romney is talking. To me, it's already heating up. So let's play with the Republicans first. Now, with Romney coming out and saying that he would run again, this is one of the big differences between the Republicans and the Democrats. A Democrat who gets the nomination never runs again.
No, they get some other government administration job.
Yeah, but so do the Republicans, and yet they still run again. You know what I mean? So, could Romney win the ticket?
Yes, Romney could win the ticket.
Is he the front runner?
No, he's not the front runner.
Who's the front runner?
That would be Jeb Bush.
And then Romney. What about Chris Christie?
Chris Christie would be. I'm trying to think. There was one other person. Chris Christie might be behind Rick Perry because he's thinking of running again. I might put Perry third in my rankings.
I think that's crazy. I think Perry is a real national joke. What about like a Mark Rubio?
Mark Rubio will run. I think he's just going to be in the shadows. I think
I'm hearing that he won't run because Jeb Bush is his mentor. And what about that Wisconsin governor? Is he standing any chance?
No. And the guy Paul Ryan, who ran with Romney last time,
he already said he's not running.
He's not running. Ted Cruz might run, kind of like a Tea Party deal. But I don't think that's going to get him much play. I think you just have too big a names now between Romney and Bush.
And the Democrats?
The Democrats, it could be Hillary, obviously, front runner. Then you have Elizabeth Warren.
I hear she's not running.
Oh, I hadn't heard that part.
I also don't think Hillary's going to make it through. I think that this fucking Bill Clinton hanging around with the pedophile billionaire.
Oh, God.
Fucking burns down Hillary. I think it's over. I mean, if we came back and we did another Clinton Bush in this country, it would be fucking embarrassing. Not that it's not already embarrassing to be an American. It is. But I love Serious Fez Whatley will come at you. He is going to be the political pundit in 2016. And this is the real Fez Whatley.
This would be exciting.
He loves politics. That's his thing. Here's Brendan. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, hey. You said Hicks can't profit from his jinx powers, but in that movie The Cooler, William H. Macy was on the payroll. How does that work?
Because he didn't know that was his fucking position. You know what I mean? He basically, Alec Baldwin put him up to the fact to just go over to that table. Just sit there. And you know what people say to me? They say like this. I watched The Cooler. That was so fake that could never happen. I go, you watch fucking Iron Man, you retard.
It's suspension of disbelief. That's what people fucking freak out over?
Fez, who's going to be the next president of the United States of America?
Hillary Clinton.
Wow. I don't think so. I'll say it.
What's Nate Silver say? Has he fucking chimed in yet? Or is
what Nate Silver says is what Fez says later, so he must be saying Hillary Clinton. I don't see it. I think this billionaire fucking kid toucher that Bill's
they spent a lot of time with him. Like they were on that plane a lot, flying all over the place.
And I think it gets used against them constantly. Craig, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Craig.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, buddy. You're on the air, buddy.
It's stupid iPhone's killing me. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, gotcha. So amongst Republicans, and I'm kind of a libertarian leaning.
God damn, I'm sorry, pal. Your phone just keeps going out. But we got plenty of time until the election. Feel free to call back anytime. We'll always be here. Here's Mark in Chicago. You're on the Ron and Fez show. Mark, have our phones screwed up on us?
I'm being told that there's no problems in there on that end.
All right, let me try here again. Don't worry about it. TK.
Yeah, hey, Ronnie.
Hey.
Before you get too far away from the football talk, and while Fez is rolling with the punches, I got a proposition for him. You talked a little bit yesterday about how he's not going to watch the Super Bowl because of the Michael Sam thing.
Yeah.
And I called you guys last week, and I have Broadway show tickets for Super Bowl Sunday. So while he's rolling with the punches, I would like to, and this is a straight shoot, I'd like to offer him my ticket. He goes to the play with my chick. I get to watch the Super Bowl. You don't have to watch the game with a guy with a blindfold on.
What's the play? Because as a gay man, I am. I guess I go against stereotypes, and I do not care for Broadway.
It's
Okay, that's perfect, because it's not a musical. I don't go for musicals either. It's Disgraced with Gretchen Mol from Boardwalk Empire. We actually met you at the Unmasked taping, my wife and I. You sat with us, and we bought you a drink and then watched you fumble with your phone for 20 minutes rather than have a conversation. But I talked to her about this already, and she's down.
I don't want your tickets. I'm done with you.
I was close. I had you.
Why did you fumble with your phone instead of having a conversation?
I was texting on some. I explained that the Unmasked was coming up, and I had to take care of some things.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Please excuse me while I send a text."
Okay, I'll get over it.
It doesn't sound like you have.
No, I have. I thought it was a win-win-win for everybody.
It sounds great, Fez.
Oh, I couldn't stand to sit there again with you people.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow. I'm not going to be there, just her.
That's a plus, but no thank you.
Okay. I tried.
All right.
Take care.
Peace. Don, in Jersey, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron, sound like $1 million.
Thanks.
Have you guys heard anything about Ted Cruz running?
There's talk on Ted Cruz. You don't take him too serious, Fez?
No, I don't. Not for this election.
Why?
I think he's a great conservative candidate.
I think he's too conservative. The stuff with immigration, even though he's Hispanic himself, I think you're just not going to be able to pull in the votes to be able to win a presidential election if you're alienating a huge voting bloc like that.
I agree. And, it's just...
Well, you turned him around pretty quick, Fez.
That's done.
The Bible Belt...
Cruz is out.
The Bible Belt has all of his votes right there.
Yeah. And they always have, though.
Yeah.
The Republicans are going to swing the Bible Belt. That's not a problem. The Democrats take the Northeast. That's not a problem. You really have to go back and look at the states that were up there before, what switches, which goes in the other direction. So it always goes back to the same thing. Can the Republicans get Virginia back? You know, what's going to happen in Ohio? It becomes the same story so much that it honestly bores me. That this has very little to do with, the way we would like to live and this bullshit hype machine that becomes the election, the multi-billion-dollar election that goes down. And what happens if your guy gets in? Are you even going to be happy? Could Ted Cruz change this country? Ask yourself that, because I don't know if anyone can. I don't know if it'll be that big of a difference if you get a Ted Cruz or a Hillary Clinton. I don't know if anything changes. Hicks, you saw that time travel movie that's on TV?
Predestination.
You dug it?
Dug it big time.
Because I might be renting it, my friend, because based on you. Unlike you, I don't steal movies. I go on demand and I demand to see it, and they demand that I pay for it.
I dug it big time.
Would you give it 10 out of 10?
You know what? Yeah, I would. I really, really enjoyed it, and I was surprised. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw it. I didn't see the trailer. Don't watch the trailer. Just watch the movie, and it was pleasantly, surprisingly good. I really liked it.
Charlie, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Well, let's try you again. Hey, Charlie, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Honey B, wouldn't it be great? Fez takes this guy's wife to the play. Fez figures out he's not gay. He just hammers this girl all night. Fez comes in the next day and goes, "It was great. I'm not gay anymore." That'd be the best.
If I had to guess if Fez is ever going to have sex, it'll be heterosexual.
You'd say oral or just like genital on genital?
You actually call that genital on genital. It's what you call sex.
Well, a mouth isn't a genital. I'm just trying to be classy. I'm trying to be classy.
But do you ever hear the term before? Did you guys do a genital on genital?
Try to clean up my language.
This is why I'm glad I've taken you off bookings and off the phones.
No,
I got my fucking pundit on it. My serious pundit.
I'll be a booking pundit, too.
Yeah, you're a booking pundit.
I'm just some lowly load boy.
Well, as you said, it's important work to do.
It's got to get done correctly every single time.
So you had some big problems this week with it.
Yeah. Big problems this week. Unacceptable problems, I'd say. Really, really crazy problems. I won't go into details. But after I looked through some logs, I was like, this is fucked. That's it. I have to do it now. I'm taking that over.
All right, load boy. Take your loads. Take your fucking loads.
Don't worry, these loads
Wally, how bad are you going to do at booking? Because you do fucking bad at everything we ever had you. How bad are you going to be in that position?
I won't be nearly as bad as I am in other areas.
Okay, that sounds great to me.
All right, positive.
Yeah, that's making me feel really good about myself. I'm glad that you can laugh at it. That's really got to be fucking make you feel powerful. Ron, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hi, Ron. $1 million.
Hey, $1 million.
Hey, has anybody given any thought to Obama running for a third term? I mean, the way he's been throwing around these executive orders, who's to say he's not going to change the Constitution, try to run for a third term?
Well, first of all, I don't think that's in the Constitution, is it? Because...
Yeah, the 22nd Amendment says he can't run again.
Okay. So, but the thing is, I think he'd win again. Because once he gets out there, everybody's always happy to see him. It's almost like a Springsteen tour, where you're not, like, thinking about one, but once he comes around, you find yourself at the show.
That's what he does best, go out and speak.
He's never done as good as he did the first time out. I mean, that first time when he was given those MLK things...
And even like before at the convention before he ran, that was pretty nuts. But I think he's just tired. I think he's good with two.
Pat in Florida, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron. Didn't Fez get in trouble the last time he was in charge of booking for stalking the guests?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did. But that's the beauty of this, is you can go out at hard now, Fez, and then we'll just pull you back off once we get things straightened out again. So you should come out like 6 men. Like, that's always my favorite thing.
J.R. Smith style.
Yeah, when a guy just comes fucking running on the court.
He's fresh.
Like, I'm fucking in this game. Everybody else is like, settle down. We've been playing for 3 quarters. Why are you making a big deal out of this?
It's my time now. You guys need some help. I'm in.
It's my time down here. Are you going to get us some major guests, Fez?
Yes, I am.
Now, Chris, you've already booked up a little bit in the future, so...
Yeah, so that's okay. Some things are in they're in the works, as they say.
Does it feel nice to you to take a little vacation from the booking?
No,
You know you're going to get it back, though. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? So it's literally a break.
So I make sure all of our replays and on-demand stuff is shored up and correct.
Yeah, we got that, Chris. Stop talking about your stupid shit.
Okay.
It's not interesting that you're going to do it well. You know what I mean? Watley, basically, to watch Fez, it's great because he's fallen off the boat, and in 16 hours... Can he make it to the Bahamas? That's where we are with him. Can he stay adrift? That fucking Ron Conrad story is I think the craziest story I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Oh, it was fucking insane.
Let me tell you something.
That he made it?
To stay afloat 16 hours in a pool would not be easy. But in the ocean... with that kind of waves that were big enough that he fell out of a fucking boat.
And you read they said there was sharks circling.
All kinds of sea life. What really is even worse than the sharks is that you get hit by enough fucking stingrays that everything just itches and is poison. And
they'll just hit you?
Sometimes you just brush up against them. You brush up against them and it just feels like you got a rash.
The sea is a terrible place.
I like to say the sea is an unforgiving whore. That's what I say anytime I'm on a boat. I'll just look out. The sea is an unforgiving whore. And they go, well, you're in the East River. Still, it's connected, isn't it?
It's body of water, right?
All rivers run to the sea. Therefore, they are the sea.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that was 16 hours, and he made it. I mean, I just get bored at some point and be like, this isn't happening.
You would never be bored, dude. You might be a lot of things, but bored isn't one of them. But the worst part that he said is that the fucking Coast Guard helicopter went right over his head at one point with the light on him. And he was like, hey, it just kept going. They didn't see him. People don't realize how hard it is to see not just even a body when you're in a helicopter. It's not even easy to see boats when you're in a helicopter. So by the time you get a guy splashing around in the water, it's a tough fucking pull.
I mean, it's another wave, right? I mean, that's what they would think.
You're right. Breaking waves is, you know what I mean?
You can't
All
hear
your eyes see is breaking waves
There's
out there.
a fucking helicopter going.
Well, you can never hear anything.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So to pull that off, and when he talked about that, and like I saw the press conference he did, and he had his like very pretty wife sitting with him, and they were talking about his daughters, and it was just like, I shouldn't even be here right now. I should be dead. I should be dead. Like, I'm like, oh, dude, you're not ready to speak about this. You know what I mean?
Get together. Take some time for yourself.
I think it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And he said
16 hours. Jesus.
Yeah, he said being a Dolphin helped him so much, playing for the Dolphins, because just losing that long, you know what I mean? Like you're just really
get your mind tight.
Fez, how long do you think you last in the ocean?
30 minutes.
You think you stay out there for 30? Because it's pretty tough. When you're out around those waves and nothing's happening, it's pretty tough not to just even panic and do something fucked up. And he knew nobody was coming. Like, he was on the boat by himself. He's fishing. He gets thrown off the boat. So he didn't have any fucking feelings like, that he could be yelling like, Chester, I'm over here. Because that happened to fucking people before, too. I know for a fact, too, that if a storm comes up and it hits the ocean like lightning, that you feel it all through your body. Because I heard from another guy down there who was in the same position before. And he said every time it would hit, he would just get these shocks through his body.
Oh, my God.
And he said it was just terrible.
Oh, I thought it would, just absorb it. Maybe if the water would. I didn't know it was spraying it around everything.
Fezzy, I'm going to give you this. Yeah, first of all, they claim that Macho Man is going to the Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, nice. It is about time.
Okay. But somebody writes to me, did you know that Randy was a single A ball player? Yeah. He almost played Dream Week with us. We asked him. And he was going to play, and he couldn't get off of the
tour or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they work so many dates, you wouldn't believe it. But he had sat around thinking about it. And then that Buccaneer ended up playing with us. What's his name that went on to do voiceover? Friend of Drosty's.
I can't think of it.
That's okay. It doesn't really matter, does it? Why don't we take a break here? We're waiting for Big J Okerson to stop by. We'll be right back. It's the Ron Fez Show.
Ron and Fez on Raw Dog Comedy Hits, Channel 99.
The Advice Show.
Coming this fall to Sirius XM, it's The Advice Show, the only show where the guests and listeners give the host, Fez Whatley, advice.
The Advice Show.
Fez welcomes advice from any and all guests, including Ari Shaffir.
Wait, you know what you need, I think? Like a high-priced hooker. Yeah, like a $1,500 hooker.
James Adomian.
But, have you ever checked out any of, the gay comedy shows in the city?
Tammy Pescatelli.
You stand every day, you tell people about your sexuality, you stand strong and all that stuff. Who cares if someone thinks you wear the same shirt? Maybe you got 27 of those shirts.
Adam Ferrara.
I wish you luck, my friend. Be happy. You're responsible for your own happiness.
Lynn Coplitz.
People who are listening, find all your gays, round them all up, and send a couple to Fez.
And Joey Pants.
But I'll talk to you after the program and show you what you can do on a daily basis that's going to make you feel better.
It's all part of the exciting new fall lineup. The Advice Show, only on Sirius XM.
The Advice Show.
It's the Ron and Fez Show on a Tuesday. This is the first show of the new year, first day we've been back. And we start off every year the same way. Big J. Okerson is with us.
Every year, yes.
But I am not used to the new, sensual, sexy Big J. Okerson that we have now.
Sensual.
I'm wondering if this is going to stand between you and your stand-up career, and you'll end up working as a male model, or just for an older woman, just to take like Richard Gere in that movie.
Just walk around on the beach in some linen pants.
Yeah,
with my
linen
shirt
pants.
off. Some linen pants.
Who do you got?
It's going to be. I'm making my campaign for most appearances guest this year again.
Well, this gives you number one right now.
Let me tell you whose ass was a little chapped by that award.
Who's that?
Jeffrey Gurian.
Well, Jeffrey Gurian has been taken off the books.
I told him I felt bad, so I told him that I go, it's probably because you're actually like a part of the show. They meant guests. No, but I had to get through that moment. You understand? I was face to face. It was a weird thing.
Why don't you tell us who you brought with you today, Jay?
I brought my good friend Ralph Sutton, who I do my podcast, The SDR Show, with Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Show.
What is this podcast about? What do you guys talk about?
I think the name is the most appropriate thing. It's Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. It was Big J's. It came up to me on Shipwrecked.
Yeah, we do that. I know Ralph from doing these the heavy metal cruises that we do, which we're going on in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
with Limp Bizkit. Don't be jealous.
Now, is that considered heavy metal?
It's rock. It's all things rock. You know, there's Limp Bizkit, Buck Cherry, Seven Dust. It's a lot of just rock bands from various genres. Even 80s rock like Living Colour. They're all. It's a hodgepodge of rock and roll.
Black rock.
The Black Rock Coalition. They are the forefront.
They're the only members.
Yeah, they are the forefront of the Black Rock Coalition. I'm a fan of Buck Cherry, though. I think it's a good band.
They're great.
Yeah,
you love them because they were the song for that video. You love that white trash.
Well, I also
dancing.
like lit. You know, when the lyrics come up, I'm like, this makes sense to me. This fucking song makes sense to me. I'm lit up right now. You got a chance to see Thor down there.
I did.
I wish you would have went and sat next to him.
I didn't even actually have to go to the bathroom. I just had to go masturbate really quick because he's so good looking.
That's not a bad thing, though. They say it's better to get it out. It's a poison. It's a poison that gives you ass cancer if you leave it in.
Yeah, you can't just stare there.
So you guys will be on a ship, trapped with rock bands and rock fans. That seems a little more than I want to put up with.
And it's oddly subdued.
Really?
Yeah, sort of. It's weird. It's like it's not that it's subdued. It's like a party atmosphere, but it's not like no one seems to really bother like the.
It's far more tame as far as like there's very few fights every year. You know,
it's super expensive. It's just very expensive. So it's like the upper echelon of white garbage.
By the way, on a cruise ship, there should never be a fight.
No, but
I was on a cruise ship and a fight broke out. That would be a rare, almost odd thing to say. Yeah,
just be a shuffleboard scuffle.
I know you did the Amy Schumer show yesterday.
Yeah.
And I know you're doing that Parkinson's show tonight.
Yes, New York Comedy Club, yeah.
You're stopping Parkinson's disease, and I think that's just fantastic.
Single-handedly.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, mostly me.
That's going to be his legacy more than comedy, for sure.
I'm going to put it up on his wiki page right now, and he stopped Parkinson's.
And then we got to run over, I got to go right from that, running over to the Creek in the Cave in Long Island City for Legion of Skanks tonight with guest Anthony Cumia in studio.
All right, this fucking pisses me off. You have Anthony on before you have me on.
Fuck. I did. I think the offer was put out to you before.
I have to. When you all right, Chris used to book until a little while ago for me. He took himself off booking today, and you put yourself on what?
I'm a load boy now.
All right, he's loading up.
Would that explain his Rachel Maddow haircut?
I think it does.
It was great.
I think it does. You know why he comes at us for the left? You know, here's something the right wing doesn't want you to know about, and then she makes them thing of I don't have a TV when I'm up in Western.
That's what she does. That's why I hate listening to her make any points because she talks like she really tries to do that. Just, oh, come on, dude. Ladies can't do this, dude. Really, dude.
So you feel like she crosses the line there.
She's just trying. Yeah, it's really.
But when Chris books you on the show, does he just say sometime?
No.
No, that's what you've never done with me. That's what the Skanks have never given me, a date to show up. I'm sure you just didn't say to Anthony, come by sometime.
Lewis did his show and grabbed the bull by the horns and asked if he wanted to come in next week, and he said yes.
I've never been offered to be on next week. That would have been
Well, how about
fantastic.
this? I'll say this. Come do the SDR show whenever you want.
Now, what I was going to say right there, I'm happy Ralph did that, is because I want you to now answer however you're going to answer, because I can't wait to come in here and tell you 8 months from now, then I go, hey, Ralph still says every week, like, tell Ron.
You know what?
I really think he wants to do it.
Every Monday.
Where at?
We tape in my apartment, 8 o'clock.
All right, that seems a little scary.
A little sketchy. Yeah. We'll come to you. How about that?
Normally that sounds like...
It sounds less sketchy than the creek in the cave?
Yeah, because at least there's people there that if... Look, I've copped. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've walked in some places I probably shouldn't have. And that's what this sounds like.
We can come to you.
Well, we could do it right here.
We can do it here.
Do you guys talk about actual rock and roll, or is it just a push-up point?
Well, we don't look
at each other's assholes.
Well, no, it's not just me and Ralph talking about our topics. So it's all interview based, and it's and we just do rock stars or porn stars, generally speaking, or people just in entertainment, and we talk about those subjects. And then the idea is we end every episode, the last 15 minutes or so, generally is you have to tell 3 stories of your first rock and roll show or concert in general. Doesn't have to be rock and roll. Your first drug experience, and now we've expanded that to be because it turns out everyone's first drug was pot. It's very rare,
except for 2. That. One girl was like, what was it? It was
one was mushrooms, the other one was
mushrooms,
LSD or something. Acid was the first thing she took.
So unless it's pot,
I will say this: within weeks or maybe a month and a half of smoking pot, I did acid the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never.
And I was at age 14.
That was the same trajectory as a retired porn star who came in 2 weeks ago and squirted into a cup
5 feet away.
I'll squirt into a cup 5 feet away if that's what it's fucking called.
Well, then you are booked on SDR show next
Monday.
week.
I can't make it next week because I want to, though. But I'm doing a lot of other stuff. Look, first of all, let's just get rid of Parkinson's tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'll come on the SDR show?
When you guys do it.
Once Parkinson's is cured.
I'm not over talking about it because I feel like that's light work almost. Like, I'm just going to do that on my way to my podcast.
He wants to still schedule you for this Monday. That's how confident he is.
See, I never know when you're doing your comedy, Jay, and when you're serious. I don't know whether you're on right now or what
guys,
you're doing.
Sorry I'm late for Legion of Skanks. I had to go erase Parkinson's.
We, I had Bobby Kelly down the stand, and we looked all over for you, and you weren't there. We thought you were coming that night.
That was Legion of Skanks night, I believe. Right?
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes, it was last Tuesday.
See, that's why I wanted to do Legion of Skanks. So Anthony's doing the show. What are you going to do to him about?
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out if he smokes pot, and then we're going to take it from there.
He has, Anthony, in terms of smoking pot, has what I call a weak Italian head. And there are some Italian guys, they're not even big drinkers. Anthony, is, though. But there's some Italian guys that if they take a fucking hit off a joint, they're done.
Yeah. Oh, and he's one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Me and Ralph went out to his house, and man, it's really that visual picture in my head of his house is everything that bums me out every week that passes, and another time that radio deal with me and Soda doesn't get handled. Just a picture. I'm like, another 2 weeks away from having a house like that.
I have no problem like just reaching out to people I don't know at all. So I emailed Cumia and
I said it wasn't going to work.
You don't know me, but I do a show with Big J. You know Jay. And then 2 weeks later, we went to Jay did his show. Then he came on our show. We did one after the other, like we'll do with you when you agree to come on our show.
Well, see, here's the thing. Ant is ready to do shows. He's got, for years, he wouldn't have done anybody's show. And now I saw him doing some weird podcast that these little kids talk about video games, and then he had Skyped his way onto it. Yeah. And it was,
where you watch people play video games?
No, they were talking about video games, but these are, and I don't know who they are or anything, but these are people that never should have been on a show with Anthony.
That's like 90% of the podcast.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that they should have been on the same show as him.
Yeah, he's doing the rounds.
I'm doing the rounds. He's getting it out there. His show's actually pretty tremendous.
We went to his house, and he has a bar down there, right? Yeah. And I don't know Anthony at all. Never met him before, but we're sitting on the couch together, and he asked Jay, "Dude, you like beer? You want a beer?" And he goes, "Yeah, I did drink beer." So he pours a beer and doesn't pour me one, and he's walking towards us, and I lean over to Jay, and I say, if this motherfucker is going to give Jay a beer and not even acknowledge my presence, it's going to be strange. But then he just walks past Jay with the beer and goes into the studio. So it's just a general question, do you like beer?
Yeah.
Watch me drink this.
Help yourself is what he was telling you. But you ended up not having a beer?
Never ended up having a beer.
No, after when he did our show, when he did on SDR,
I went on the actual show.
Yeah,
pretty hilarious. Wait, that house was crazy.
The hot young girl that was there too was crazy.
I was like, "Can I use your bathroom?" And I opened up a door, and it was a movie theater. Oh, all right.
Well, we all get to see it on TV. It's there. I know he was just out in L.A. and did. Anthony did Adam Carolla's show. I think maybe even Jay Moore's and another one.
I think Rogan.
Maybe Rogan, too. He just went on maybe Kevin Pollak's show, too. He just went on a podcasting tour.
Really?
He's doing all the shows, yeah. Well, he's now in charge of his own marketing.
He's got to really has to,
yeah, he's got to keep the word out there. He's got to get new people.
Do you think it's something he wants to do, or it's something he feels is necessary?
I think both. I mean, he's running a business now. He's not...
It's a small team. It's just him and Keith, I think.
Yeah. But, before his whole life, he's just had a company behind him.
Sure.
And now you got to... And when companies say, hey, would you do the promotion? You go, no. Not doing promotions. But when you're in charge of yourself, it's like you're a stand-up, you're in charge of this company of Jay.
Yes, that is true.
So you do things that if you didn't have to do, you wouldn't do.
Oh, yeah, morning radio. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, local, obviously morning radio. Not the shows that are fun. And some of those shows end up being a lot of fun, but I mean... Sometimes
who's good out there?
You know it's over when you sit down and they really give you like so what made you get into comedy? You're like,
but what did? Right. I never heard you talk about that.
So I'm 19, right?
But that's even better than when they try and set you up with shtick. That's the worst.
I need Chris to put his hat back on. That Katie Lang hair.
Keep it staying like this, all right, Jay?
I think
it's so swoopy.
It's got a really big swoop.
It's really swoopy.
I think you look like Japan cartoons. You could be one of like Astro Boy or one of them.
I love that. Astro Boy's great.
Yeah, I could see that.
You look like Phoebe Cates got stung by a million bees.
You know what?
This is hurtful. He's hurting my feelings.
First of all...
Wow, I could not agree with that more.
You look like Astro Boy.
Wow. I am going to point something out.
I feel like I should check under the table for Rocket Feet.
Fucking Jay just gave out the name of my emo band that I'm starting. Phoebe Cates got stung by a million bees. And we're supposed to be playing in Brooklyn tonight. I'm really pissed about that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You got your skinny jeans and tight vest?
Well... so you guys are going out to do this thing in Miami. How many days are you out at sea with these bands?
It's going to be 6 days.
6 days.
Total, right?
But they're doing a Super Bowl Sunday pre-party that you can go on if you choose on the Sunday, and then it's a Monday to Friday. But Friday, you're off the boat first thing in the morning. So it's really Monday through Thursday is your core of the show.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Are you getting off in the islands too, though? I mean,
it's a private island just for the boat. Because I mean, I've never been on a lot of cruises, but usually it's a crappy experience. You're on the island for like 4 hours before you got to go anyway.
Yeah.
So you never really see anything. So they just park at an island and they're just right off the shore. So you stay there all day on the beach.
What's great about Ralph is Ralph's type. Ralph likes to fuck a good 22-year-old confused foreign 6 foot tall girl.
My wheelhouse. It's my wheelhouse.
That's his thing. And but on this boat to watch pussy that's his own age get thrown at him, so let him just like, maybe we'll hang later. Like, Ralph, I'm gonna get hammered, I'm gonna suck your dick, just some leathery tan fucking freckleback. And Ralph's just nervous, like awkward energy of like trying to shoo them away. They're never interested in me at all.
Yeah.
They all want a piece of Ralph.
So, Ralph, you do not want age appropriate.
No, I definitely go way under I should be, for sure. Absolutely.
You want people to go, oh, that's...
What's going on there? Why'd you bring your daughter to this festival?
Terrible.
It looks bizarre.
Yeah.
It looks bizarre and terrible.
Yeah.
And they're always just like confused half-wits.
They have to have daddy issues and problems, or why would they be with me?
Why would they be listening to metal if their childhood went well?
Dude, he remember when you flew that girl in?
Oh,
who was the worst person ever?
Yeah.
We met a girl on the first time we did that cruise ship together. It's the daughter of I don't care. It's the daughter of Queensryche, the guy from Queensryche, lead singer. She came to our comedy show with a baby, a very young baby, at like 2 a.m. The baby was a problem, but we acknowledged it. We made it funny because, she had this baby. And then she later wanted kudos and thanks. Came up very drunkenly, bitching at us for why we didn't thank her for helping our show
saving
so
the
much.
show.
For helping our show. And then we're like, and then, while she's complaining, she's holding a daiquiri that her baby is reaching into and just eating out of her hand.
That's cute. Babies are adorable.
The drunken idiots around are just pointing and laughing. No one's stopping it. We're almost wondering if we should call security and what we should do exactly. Just a horrible. It turns out there's this whole crazy convoluted story of like that baby is the baby of the guy she cheated on her boyfriend with, which was her boyfriend's guitar tech, and they both play guitar in the new version of that guy's band, like the father's band. This girl's a shit show, front to back. Not that hot, but she
somewhat attractive.
But she does fit into confused young girl category. And that's the personality he decides to fly in for the weekend and put up in his apartment. He loves to have them overnight for some reason.
That was a bad experience. That was really.
But he does that. But you do that a lot. You bring them in for the week. I don't get that. And it's like, we'll hang out for the weekend.
It's easier for me than to actually have to go out and hit on girls. It's
bring
easier to just bring them in. And I feel like I have it down with science where you bring them in late on the first night. So you just go have dinner and come home and have sex. You have one day you got to hang out with them. The next day, that's full day, and then they leave the next morning. It's not that bad.
So what do you try to do with that day? Movie? Let's go to a movie.
It depends. Ideally, I like a girl that's like never been to New York because they get fascinated by like anything simple. So that's the best scenario.
Look at the size of this Applebee's. It's gigantic. You got to be plug king today. I don't want to do it.
The Sex, Rugs, and Rock and Roll podcast.
Sex rugs?
It is sex rugs. The only rugs to have sex on.
Oh, I thought it was rugs. Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll podcast. That's Ralph Sutton and Big J. Okerson who are here. That's SDRshow.com. And they will be on board for Shiprocked, the ultimate rock and roll cruise. Go to shiprock.com to book tickets there, featuring Limp Bizkit, Black Label Society, Buck Cherry, Andrew WK, Living Keller, and more. And Big J. Okerson is on the New York Club Crawl tonight to fight Parkinson's. He's going to be at stop number 2. That's the New York Comedy Club on East 24th Street.
I believe his is sold out already.
Well, they're curing Parkinson's. Of course it's sold out.
I think your stop is sold out.
Oh, New York. What's funny? That new ownership bought that club. And
everybody's telling me great things about it.
The guy's cool. He's a good dude. Emilio, who bought it. Younger guy, trying to pump some life into it. And you know what's funny? It really is, all it takes to do an immediate, quick kind of turnaround is just part ways with some of your dinosaurs and let in some of like the like even the young, but it's like a lot of those clubs that are kind of just run for years by like a not present person. Like, you just get these guys who are just like, they don't have any passion for doing it anymore, and the club just becomes like a dark, kind of gloomy, sad place. And then just injecting some life of just some like younger comics and some people that are
some
like
guys who want to be there.
But you have to like, you got to like have like the right personality to get the people back. But like, I went there, I did the weekend there like 2 weekends ago, and it was every New York Comedy Club sold out. Like, packed, good crowds, fun. Like, they didn't seem like they were there like under any kind of like, you know, we were told Louis C.K. was coming tonight. They seemed to be way into it, and it was
that's the thing I like, the people that get tricked in Times Square to think that they're going to see Louis C.K.
I'm always last. You know, I really I've taken issue with that with like with club owners to give some kind of like something like some sort of a penalty or actually do a good hiring process for those street team guys. I know you gotta just kind of grab any shithead college kid off the street, but I'm like, if you make these people. When Luis Gomez used to run street teams, he was great because he used to. Luis J. Gomez. He'll get mad if I don't do that.
Is there a Luis Gomez that he needs to differentiate?
I mean, I'm sure there's 4 million Luis Gomez's
that are in comedy, though. That are in comedy?
When he used to, no.
They're all funny, though.
When he used to run street teams, he would have his guys familiarize himself with the comedy, like the comics that were actually on the show, so they could pitch those guys. And the problem, like people lying and saying Dane Cook and all of your wildest dreams of comedy are going to come true tonight for this $5 ticket I'm selling you. The people that believe that, when I go last and they realize, they go, this is your last comic, and it's not, you know, fucking Richard Pryor, they're like, you hear the murmurs of like people going like, we got fucked. And that sucks. That's like a horrible thing to deal with.
I've seen cards that were given out where it has pictures of Louis C.K. and all these other guys, and it says, you know, like guests including these type of comedians, and you believe that.
But do you know what's funny? In the history of New York, that's the least rip-off thing that's ever happened in the history of Times Square.
It's amazing.
This is how bad, this is how safe the city is. This is now considered a bad thing. When it used to be, oh, what happened to my purse, my daughter, and all my pearls? You know what I mean? Everything's missing. They've taken everything.
Honey, where's my pearls?
Yeah.
Honey?
I used to date a girl that lived on 42nd and 9th in the worst time, like, you know, going back 20 years ago when it was a war zone. And she was a stripper. Big shock, I know, Jay. But I'd get to go see her after her shift. So it'd be 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was a war zone in Times Square. And I knew me, a Jewish white boy walking through the city, was going to get his ass kicked, robbed, something.
Yeah.
So I would, which is so ridiculous because I figure go crazy instead of just being nervous. I would take my shirt off, I would twirl drumsticks, and I would stare at everybody as I was walking down the street, and no one ever bothered me.
Put on crazy face.
Yeah, everyone thought I was nuts.
I couldn't sell that.
That used to be the thing. You had to walk through like you're a fucking insane person. If somebody said something, you had to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to get nutty before I get here. But you know what's funny? You're saying like that's the worst neighborhood. That's literally where you come out of the tunnel. So when people would come into New York, they'd be like, where the fuck are we? Why? Why did we come here today?
I never got to experience that.
Oh, it was crazy.
I've been to shitty parts of New York now. I still like I walk to the Comedy Cell every night wearing my headphones that I'm certain I'm going to get robbed for. But I mean, I put my hood up and I walk with a scowl on my face.
What do you consider what are you saying, that the Village is scary at night?
It's not. I just think I just walk there by myself, and I just like, you know, who knows what could happen.
D is still. I live on D. D is still terrible.
Somebody walks up, yells out Trayvon Martin, punches me in the face, and takes
my danger. D stands for danger. You do not want to go there. I have a friend who owns a pizza parlor on B, and they tried delivering to D twice. First time he got robbed. Second time he got stabbed and robbed. And now they just don't deliver to D anymore.
But I mean, I guess I know what you're saying. Like, no, it's not. Like, I wouldn't do it if I thought it was like a dangerous like walk to take. I don't think it's dangerous. It's just I'm very like. Try to keep my head on a swivel. Be aware. I mean, anything could happen anywhere, really, couldn't it?
Not with you.
Fez, back me up. You're a paranoid person like me, no?
I have an overly inflated sense of safety.
Fez let you down there?
Fez. Don't you think murder's always around the corner? I do.
Do you know how it doesn't help you?
That's any neighborhood.
Right. Don't go outside. Do what I do. Don't go outside.
I'm 6'5", 250. Yeah. So I have an inflated sense of safety that no one's going to fuck with me.
But you know you have no skill to fight.
No, I have no skill to fight, but I always act like I'm okay and I'm confident, and I've won fights by not fighting and just saying, yeah, let's do this, because I look like I'd be more of a trouble than most other people.
You do. You look like, well, that guy, was a defensive end in college, probably blew his fucking knee out, and now he's going around breaking thumbs for people.
And sleeping with underage girls for no apparent reason.
Underage? Well, there is one reason. How tight it is around your penis. Fez, your sense of fear is where in New York?
Oh, it's, on a good day, it's at a 9.
Wow.
Yeah, I always think something's going to happen, whether...
Are you afraid in the suburbs?
If I'm in, like, a big open space, I get nervous.
An open space, like a baseball field. You'd be afraid.
A baseball field, yeah, a football stadium, a mall.
I will agree. A mall is not that open, but there is something weird about the country. Like when you go out in the summer and you stay, like, oh, this is a cabin up in here, and you're like, there's no one fucking around here, is there?
By myself.
No one's going to hear me be attacked.
That would be a real challenge to do that by myself. I could do it with people or with somebody, but I would still, like, probably at night, if I was by myself, I'd still, like...
I did this thing where it was, like, when I was going through the spiritual thing, some Indian fucking thing where you go off by yourself, no food, no water, and all this shit.
For the entire walk kind of thing.
Yeah, for the entire weekend. And at a certain point, you're like, fuck, anything could happen. Then after that, you're like, I'm really fucking hungry anyway. I don't give a shit. I hope whoever comes here to murders me, some fucking Snickers bar in his pocket.
I find it always funny too. Like, it's amazing, even though it doesn't change your safety at all. Like, getting on the phone with somebody in a situation like that, just for some reason.
Girls will always call you and like, I'm out. Well, I'm out. Talk to me. I'm
so
like,
you can
really?
hear them getting raped.
Yeah,
Somehow that makes them feel better.
Baby, I'm sorry, I'm not there.
It sounds like it sounds like he has a big penis now. It sounds like
Claw his fucking eyes out.
That's terrible when you think about it.
I just gotta hear it happen. Please get off of me. No.
Chris, how's your neighborhood?
Oh, it used to be kind of dicey back in I'd say the late '80s, like the bodega owners where get shot because we're like right up the block from the projects. Mm-hmm. But now it's becoming the next Williamsburg. Astoria is just incredibly safe.
Oh, Astoria is like the land of the Greek restaurants.
Not anymore. No, it's now it's all just young families moving in and young kids, and it's just high rises going up in Long Island City. Mm. There's not that many dangerous places left. There's like East Flatbush and Avenue D's a little dicey, and maybe some
far beyond a little dicey.
But you know that like Alphabet City used to be considered
the worst.
Like criminals wouldn't go into Alphabet City.
Yeah.
So now the fact that and now there's so many great restaurants down there.
It's the best. I live on B and 10th, and it's my favorite neighborhood in New York. But I mean, when I was a kid, Thompson Square Park was called Needle Park.
Right.
Because so many hypodermic needles on the floor from drug users.
And if anybody went into the park, even in the afternoon, the cops would be like, look, what the fuck's he up to?
You better know some Hispanic poetry or get the fuck out of that neighborhood.
Look, was that family going to cop? Look at them. Oh, and they're acting like going to swings. That must be setting off. That must be to let the dealer know what they're up to.
Anytime there's like any neighborhood where there's like young kids outside alone at night is very like scary.
Yeah.
Oh, like Camden always had that. That's why I remember driving to Camden. There'd be like children outside.
Well, there's always a thing to me.
Like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I always thought things like Trenton, Camden, Wilmington, Delaware is even scarier than being in New York.
Newark is pretty shitty right now.
Newark is maybe always been shitty. I know some people tell you it used to be great.
One of my very good friends did not speak a lick of English, lived in France, came to New York to move here to try and get into restaurant business and stuff, and hated New York, thought it was totally like not as cool as he thought it would be, didn't enjoy it. It's like, why does everyone give a shit about New York City? After 2 weeks, and he was getting ready to leave, he learned enough to realize, because he didn't speak any English, he was in Newark. And he took a fucking ferry to New York, and now he has 3 restaurants, and he's been here for like 30 years, but he was a day away from leaving before he figured that out.
Do you know what a great movie that would be, man? Just a guy coming to the wrong place, and he's confused about Newark and New York, so he's like, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here, I'm doing it.
Yeah, they say Newark, like you people say. That's so fucking great.
Ralph's got great New York story. He grew up a breakdancer in New York.
Yeah, I was a breakdancer. I was in a breakdancing movie. I used to go. They called me, my brother, and 2 other white kids, the Mighty Whiteys, and I'd go battle in Coney Island. I was 15.
What breakdance movie you in?
I was great with glides and spins.
What was the movie?
I was in Crush Groove.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I was in Crush Groove.
Yeah,
I used to battle in Coney Island. It was crazy.
I don't know why anytime a white person says that, I won. Laugh, 2, never believe it's true. And I'm good friends with Ralph. And for some reason, I just go, that's just a lie I live with. I just live with the fact that he lies to me about breakdancing.
I have a videotape of me breakdancing somewhere, and I'm digitizing it this year, so I will show that to you.
They called you crazy Jew legs.
How long was the breakdancing craze? How long was it legitimately real?
It's still a big thing, but for me, it was 13 to 15. So 83 to 85, Flashdance came out, and it was like the first major movie to have breakdancing in it, and we all freaked out about it. It was a crazy time.
I remember, in the 80s, where the Pretenders would do a video, and then they would just put 2 breakdancers, even though it didn't belong there everywhere. At all. And I actually said, I was actually in a conversation where people were like, I think rap won't last, but breakdancing is here to stay. Breakdancing will always be, because rap seems so simple at first. How quick will people, get tired of people bragging about their own name? You know what I mean?
We actually believed that it was going to end up being in the Olympics. That's how we thought.
That's how far it was going to go.
Because it was so popular back then.
Yeah.
And you had to do it to that really shitty of the time rap music.
Yeah, but at the time it seemed really cool. Like we were talking about.
Well, my name is Charlie, and I'm here to say.
I didn't know you could rap, Jay. That's pretty amazing. It's pretty incredible.
If we had a time machine and we put him in 81, you'd probably be headlining.
That's where rap should have stopped, right there.
That's what it was done. The Fat Boys. The Fat Boys was really the last.
The Fat Boys were great,
Gang, Fat Boys.
And then I couldn't even what the switch was. I guess for music like that, I guess Run DMC probably.
No, Run DMC was still 80s. The big change came the next round of rap.
I would agree with that.
Was the 90s.
Public Enemy and NWA.
That's the next round.
For me, is when people went, holy shit.
It's just when they changed the actual style of how it was done.
Yeah, because people weren't wearing neon. They're talking about killing cops and taking
Eric
the fucking...
Rakim.
And everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on.
It was really different.
Yeah.
Go out there and get a girl. Take a girl on the dance floor.
Everybody was just fucking adorable.
What I love is there was no hip-hop culture of that time at all. Yeah, there wasn't clothes or anything yet, so it's all derivative of rock back then. It's all spiky bracelets and stuff like that. But no, but there was a few things, but it was not very in the movie Breakin'. I was pretty funny. The black guy of the bad breakdancers, the protagonists, or the antagonists, I should say, he's wearing a Pink Floyd hat. That was kind of odd.
Well, it's the punk is the same way. If you look back, and the Ramones had long hair, you know what I mean, and they kind of sounded like Alice Cooper or Chuck Berry or the Beach Boys. It wasn't as shocking. And then when you turn around and everyone started to package it, but I don't think even the rap guys early on thought, oh, this is just to go with music. This is something to do in between songs.
Well, it's the same thing about I came into music at a time where I always thought Kiss was more hilarious because of how evil it was deemed to be, and the music is so cheesy. And you know what I mean?
It's also because you're younger than me, so when you grew up, that was already funny.
It was cheesy, I'm saying, but when it came out at first, it didn't matter how cheesy. It was just it was just something so different with the masks and the fire and the blood.
It was still considered cheesy.
When I got the comic book,
there
was that story in the comic book when I got as a kid that they mixed their blood in with the ink, and it was dangerous to own it. There was this whole mythos to it that was scary.
It was supposed to be scare your parents thing, though. I thought was the idea.
Yeah, but see, the parents had already fucking been at Altamont. You know what I mean? So the parents weren't afraid of it unless you're in the middle of the country. You know what I mean?
So the parents looking at their kids you dildo. You're listening to this cornball music,
really? To this shit, yeah. I mean, there was never a time where Kiss was cool. It was always on the outside.
So that would be my mom's generation, Probably already thought Kiss was corny.
Yeah.
But my mom, to her parents, that's where it went from like Glenn Miller and Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree to like David Bowie. Like that's the stretch there.
Right, where they couldn't fucking get it at all.
Yeah.
You know, like they would be like going and say, "There's something wrong with my children. They're listening to jungle music." Okay, they're listening to Negro jungle music right now. What am I to do? Are they going to start blowing reefer? What is happening?
Oh, my poor mom. The first rap tape that I was asked to give to her and not listen to again was her walking on me listening to 2 Live Crew and just loving it. And it was like singing along with the fuck shop.
Yeah. But do you think that there's anything that could happen now that would shock a parent? You know what I mean? Like, would anybody have kids and not think, oh, this is going to pass?
Because there's no danger anymore in music. That's the thing that I grew up loving. Was like at the time, it sounds funny to think that Guns N' Roses was like dangerous when I was a kid.
I was going to use that same example because that was the band that was like very my music. To me, I felt very, and when I had the album, I remember the cover of the album with the skulls and the cross, and like the inside had the nudity, the cartoon, and my mom definitely did not like, you know, that I had the album or that it was my, you know, she wouldn't want to listen to it if I had it on. She told me to lower it, and now she will claim that Guns N' Roses is her favorite band.
Guns N' Roses sounds like a 1969 band. You know what I mean? They came out in 86, 87, but they sound like, you know, a band that was around during the even more classic rock time.
Yeah. I mean, Izzy Stradlin basically wrote the first album and was such a huge fan of that style of music, and he left the band because they got too popular. He wanted to be that kind of like, you know, old school band that just played homage to the old school.
Yeah, I always thought they sounded like fucking Led Stones. You know what I mean? Like they were Led Zeppelin meets the Stones, but they were. And you know, everyone always says like Nirvana was the end, but I kind of thought that Guns N' Roses were the last super popular actual rock and roll band.
I think Manson. I think Manson was your last American rock star.
Do you know, did you see this story today? Chris was telling me this is up on the iBang. Manson claims that he invented the term grunge.
That's hilarious.
When he was writing as a music critic. And he said, what exactly was his quote?
Okay, so this is when he was reviewing Bleach.
What was he doing there? You okay?
Yeah. Nirvana was different. That was one of the bands I covered first as a journalist. And I'm just going to go ahead and say I coined the term grunge in a review of Bleach. You're welcome, said Manson.
Wow.
Do you know who they credit with coming up with the term punk rock?
No.
Dave Marsh, who works here with us. I think he was talking about either MC5 or Iggy. He wasn't talking about punk rock, but he said this is like punk rock.
There's a question as where heavy metal came from. Either it was the Steppenwolf song or the magazine. You know, the art magazine also had the term heavy metal. Yeah. That had nothing to do with rock.
Remember when they put out the heavy metal cartoon and then there was no metal in it? And everyone's like, I'm confused.
And it was awful. It was awful to watch. I guess you're supposed to do drugs and watch them.
Yeah, you're supposed to do drugs and watch every movie.
The South Park episode of that was great when they did it.
We're trying to interview Manson when he comes to town at the end of this month. We're trying. So but that'll be my ultimate fanboy, like, queef out. I'll definitely get very giddy and ask a bunch of silly questions. I don't think it's we have a potential in with a former bandmate, and my ex-girlfriend dated him before she dated me, so those two people are trying to make it happen. We interviewed a scorned ex-band member, co-founder of the band.
Which one?
Daisy Berkowitz, Scott Patesky.
Scott Patesky, yeah. He was
I only call him by their Manson name.
Daisy Berkowitz. I agree, same thing. You know what I thought was smart about that? The guy John 5, who was in the band, even though he's with because I forget what his name actually is, but it was like Johnny whatever when he played with David Lee Roth and a couple other bands. But then when he went to Manson, he became John 5, this character. But even now in Rob Zombie for like 7-8 years, he's still John 5.
It's good that he owns the name because you'd think Manson would have trademarked the name.
You know,
he's no Axl Rose.
I didn't let Manson on the air one time when
in Florida.
Yeah, in Florida.
Really?
When the Genitorturers were in, right? And they're like, our friends Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids rode over with us, and we were like, when she was this really hot.
Yeah, she was hot.
Unbelievable.
You know that band?
Yeah, I used to be a rock DJ at Limelight, so they used to come. I used to promote Limelight. They used to come there all the time. She was hot.
And we were like, well, if we have time, but why don't you sit here and spank the slave and shove stuff up her ass and we'll fuck around like that for a while. So then, we never paid any attention and went back to it. And they were like walking around with lunch boxes and shit wherever they went. I don't know what the whole gimmick was, but then when that shit came out, what was it? Some motherfucker's going to get my medal. It was about beating somebody. I'm like, oh, I remember those fucking dudes. Why did we let them in? This is great.
This is great. They were singing that song the whole way. Why didn't we listen?
Yeah, but that's cool that you saw the Genital Torturers. We used to do shows with them. We would go out and do these morning shows, and people would fucking freak out.
They were dangerous. They were a good example of a dangerous band. They were like a live S&M/rock show.
Yeah, it
was
really
the music
was.
any kind of good, though?
It was the kind of music you guys like. What can I tell you?
It's your bullshit.
Yeah. What can I tell you? It's right there with it.
I thought what I liked about Marilyn Manson, I'm going to eat shit for this probably because...
Was he so beautiful?
No, it's that I think he followed a very laid out already path trajectory of David Bowie. Honestly. Yeah. However... I followed him on every part of that. I was a big fan of like the screamy early kind of punk silly stuff he did, and then I got way into like the industrial metal side of it, and then when he went to the glam rock, and then the he did like the Roaring 20s album.
You were with everything.
His new album is good.
I haven't heard the new one. I haven't even heard the new song yet. I can't believe I haven't gotten the single yet, but I heard it's really good.
What's the style of this one?
It's more of a nod to like industrially rock.
The last one, Born Villain, was
that was not a good record.
Hey Cruel World's a good song though. That's and whatchamacallit, but it's with the album before that, which I don't remember, with the
I don't remember.
Americans.
You're way more into him than I am.
I get it.
He has an erection just talking about the last 5 minutes.
I'll be able to hey, Paul.
I always love the new symbols. I always love the new ways to write MM. I'm always a sucker. I've been talked out of getting tattoos of whatever those things are 50 times.
Thank God.
You made a mistake. Should have got it, man.
I'd have a Toto tattoo and a Def Leppard tattoo.
I've been doing an 80s rock radio show for over a decade called The Tour Bus, and we have people that come in that have all these regretted tattoos of like a giant Enough's Enough logo, from these bands that never made it, and they just got huge white trash Bullet Boys, and at one point they thought they were going to be something, and they're just living with that forever.
It is the reason too why I think me and Ralph do have a good podcast, is because it's fun for me to bust balls and play around with these guys with Marilyn Manson interview, I worry might not be a good one because I really will be like, Jeepers Creepers. But he's like, dude, great show. We got Bobby Blitz from Overkill coming in. I'm like, is that a big deal? Great, let's do it. I don't give a shit. Sure.
Takes the pressure off.
He goes, dude, and by the way, like, he's right though, when those guys like will put out like, hey, check me out on so and so podcast, like
the fans are still there.
Way more than Legion of Skanks out of the gate. And again, it's the popularity of Ralph's show, and I'm in a different place than I was when I started Legion of Skanks. But I mean, we are thousands upon thousands of listeners out of the gates above Legion of Skanks, starting out with 400 people.
Well, how long have you guys been doing your podcast?
7 months, like 6 months.
7 months, yeah.
So pretty new, and the numbers are pretty good.
But, also, with those guys, particularly metal, that's around the world. That shit still. You go to South America.
That's what they all say. Every time, because the question always kind of comes up, like, how, what do you guys, it's like, you put it out a new album. It's like, for what? You know what I mean? But we talked to JJ French from Twisted Sister the other day. He still feels like a mega rock star because they go and play
50,000, 70,000
17-song sets for these festivals in Europe, Reading Festival, and they just feel like you see him he came in and he looks like an older guy and like someone's dad, and he's not in shape of any kind. But it's like he still gets to feel that. That
can you imagine?
It's still alive out there. People are excited to see him.
Twisted Sister do 10 shows a year. That's it, at most. And they're always in front of 50,000 people. And so they're
100% original lineup, too, which is pretty interesting.
Not too many bands have pulled that off over the years.
No, I mean, almost.
I think Aerosmith is still together, original lineup, which is insane.
Motley Crue.
Really.
Motley Crue's done.
Motley Crue ended up, with the original lineup.
Poison, but they barely tour.
Poison, but you never know how long he's going to live. I mean, how many times you got to pick up the
CC
paper?
DeVille?
No, the singer, because he's got that diabetes.
Oh,
Every time you pick
Jay's
up a paper.
Jay's curing that next. Are you kidding me?
Dude, that would be so fucking
Reach out to me,
great.
Brett Michaels. Now, you know what?
Chris, Fez won't plug today, if you notice. He will not do his plugs.
Big J
There he
Okerson
goes.
and Ralph Sutton are in studio with us. They have the Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll podcast. You can go to sdrshow.com. And they're setting sail for Shiprocked. That's the cruise heading out of Miami on February 2nd. 4-night cruise. Go to shiprock.com if you want to be part of that. And Big J's performing at the DC Improv. That's next Wednesday on the 22nd through Saturday the
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
25th.
Yeah.
By the way, it is thesdrshow.com. Just so you know.
TheSDRshow.com. Yeah, I'm doing DC, and then right before we go for Shiprocked, this is a funny thing too to have to pack for. I fly right from Indianapolis, -20 with wind chill, to Shiprocked.
Bahamas.
So I have to pack for both.
Till you burn
pretty
your skin off.
extreme temperatures.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Well, you still have to wear leather jackets at both places, right?
Oh, you know, I'm the Fonz. Hey.
That's what I cracks me up. Is I was at the Ozfest a couple years when that was going on, and they just will not give up the outfit, the layers of black.
Right.
In a 95-degree summer day, kids are dropping like flies because God forbid they don't look cool.
That's not if you have anything on the band Cradle of Filth. One of my favorite things on a festival show like that is when a band like they're living off of a gimmick of like some evil whatever,
right?
And then it's like, all right, you guys are headlining the small so it's like 4 in the afternoon, like Birch tweeting, it's like Swedish death metal. They're like profusely sweating.
There's a band on Shiprock that I have to ask this to them because the singer is albino.
I
so
saw
they
that.
can't do daytime shows, I got to imagine.
He can't do
He's got to be in his rider, nothing until the sun sets.
He will melt.
Are you guys ready to party? Burst into flames. He turns into pure electricity like powder.
But isn't it weird, like, when guys work regular jobs and then they dress up as metal when they go out to a show on the weekend? That's the thing that I hate. Is this clothes or a costume? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get where suddenly now you're wearing some ripped jeans from the 80s and
the funny thing
a
of
mesh
that
shirt.
But isn't that translates to a few things? Like, say, like Dice kind of had to become Dice.
Yeah.
So now he's like, a 50-some-year-old guy wearing a Joey Buttafuoco sweatshirt.
He's got to do it all the time.
So, yeah. And that had happened to what's the most famous one? Was Larry the Cable Guy, man. Like, eventually he had to be like, I mean, he's a guy who wore, like, if you watch the old videos of it, like Dan Whitney, it's khaki pants and polo shirts.
Don't give that away.
But I mean, like, it's so funny that, now he has to live his life, like,
Hey, how you doing?
He's at the grocery store wearing a sleeveless flannel shirt, like, get her done.
Yeah. And he just reaches into his pocket and feels his wallet and goes, okay.
I'm sure to some degree. I'm surprised, but now he hosts, like, History Channel.
Hey, we're going to go back and look at the beer cans in history.
Swamp Fisherman with Larry the Cable Guy.
All right, we're going to break here. Is Thor still down there, Fez? You might want to go take a look.
Have you not seen him yet?
I haven't seen Thor
He's
yet.
gorgeous.
How do you not go see Thor?
See, I think Michael Mann is more attractive.
Thor is my number
That's
one
me.
guy that I would gladly have sex with if I was
that
doing
right?
it. Thor, absolutely.
I mean,
I'd like him to wear the costume, though.
I want to fuck Michael Mann for the power, but if I'm going on pure looks, man, that's Thor.
So Thor was also, if you had to go gay, it would be Thor?
Me, it's not even if I'm
He
going
said
gay, I
that
just do it
absolutely.
anyway.
He made that call weeks ago.
Yeah.
Seeing him, if I had to take a shot in the chops, I'd let that guy
What about
pile
you,
in there.
Chris?
Billy Bob Thornton.
That's that's an
I don't
interesting
like that one at all.
I'm going to take George W. Bush just to fucking, make him cry.
Oh, see, what if you're taking it and not giving it?
Oh, let him try to stick that cock in my ass. I'll fucking snap it off.
Billy
my
Bob
ass
Thornton. Is that why Chris got Francis McDormand hair?
When that's it hurts. But Billy Bob came in here one day, and Chris was just moved by his.
Were you really taking
personality.
Billy Bob was the man. He's amazing.
I get upset. As my concern with Marilyn Manson, I'll be like, you're so awesome.
So on E! the other night, they were playing Who Would You Rather, because they were doing that on the Golden Globes. And then Billy Bob's like Jennifer Aniston, which is...
That's funny.
Yeah, because of the connection between the two families. And then they asked him two other names. And he said Jennifer Aniston. It's a lifelong dream. And he had a rape look on his face. He's like, I'm going to get even with everyone.
Wow.
And rape her.
I'm going to get even with them all.
All right, we'll be right back. More talk of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's the Ron Fez Show.
Back with the Ron and Fez show on a Tuesday. Big J. Okerson's here. Ralph Sutton is here. They're from the Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll podcast, thesdrshow.com online. And they've got a cruise coming up that you can join, Shiprock, the ultimate rock and roll cruise. Shiprock.com. That sets sail from Miami on February 2nd. And Big J is going to be performing at the DC Improv next Wednesday. That's January 22nd, before he's off to Crackers Comedy Club in Indianapolis on Wednesday the 28th through Saturday, January 31st.
Fez, it seems like you seem like you got your enthusiasm back with this too. You know, you stopped phoning it in like you were there early on. It seems like these are shows I want to go to.
Yeah, these are all good.
Yeah,
great
these
shows.
are things I want to do. You know, you don't bring up Big J won Album of the Year with our listeners over at the Interrobang.
Oh yeah, that was huge. That really felt so nice. I didn't even realize there was a thing going on. I thought it was just saying what they thought the best albums of the year were, and I was flattered by that. I didn't realize there was a winning process.
You ran away with it.
Yeah?
Ran away with it, yeah.
I heard Chris say that was his vote, was for my album, which I really enjoyed.
Yes.
That was very, very nice.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah. Did I feel bad about making fun of my haircut?
No, you know what?
But I do.
You know your problem, Chris? Last time you said that someone said your hair looked good, you went and cut it. Your hair, it looks good no matter how you wear it, but decade by decade. But see, when he lets his hair go long, he's like Big Chief. You know what I mean? Like, it's just long, straight, beautiful hair.
It's great.
Got a lot of hair too.
Yeah.
He's really got like
it's
a
great.
thick
No,
hair.
and the thing is, like you, I'm talking a little bit out of slight jealousy because I'd like to cut my hair, but I don't think I will look good with short hair, and I don't like the way I look with short hair. And Chris, when I first met him, that was the thing. We both had beards and long hair.
Yeah.
And then look at how much time. As I'm saying, it's not. Then he cut it a little bit shorter, then a little bit shorter, and it's getting more and more like, you know.
I had my hair down to my ass for a very long time, and I'm the distance between my head and my ass is a lot farther than all of you guys. And when I was on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, we cut it.
Nice.
They do it for the purpose of radio, for television.
How did you like being on that show?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved the gay guys. They were awesome.
None of the gay guys, there wasn't one that you were like, why is this guy on here?
No, what's his? I forget their names now, but the
Carson. That was the main dude.
Carson was the main guy, but the little guy, Jay, off air told me he had a crush on me. That was kind of interesting.
I think that's wrong, though. I think that's wrong for a gay guy to say that to a straight guy.
He said I reminded him of his ex-boyfriend. That's what he said.
I don't think that's true.
Huh.
What's the response to have to it?
Well, I think to me, because
punching him in the face was probably the wrong thing to
see,
do.
the problem is that a lot of straight guys are nervous about that, and I think that they have a responsibility to stay cool. You know what I mean? Just like you don't go up to a married woman and be like, you know what, there's something about you. It just turns me on. You know what I mean? Like, we know you don't do that. Do you agree or disagree on that, Fez?
I disagree. If you're interested in someone, you can't gauge their interest back unless you ask.
But the thing is,
that's where I have trouble.
You know if the guy's a straight guy. That's the fucking problem.
You still got to hope. I think there's nothing wrong with hoping.
But, that's the same way. Like, if you say to a married chick, I'd really like to go out with you, and sometimes they'll do it.
That seems worse to me, though. That seems far worse to try and break up a marriage than try and switch a straight guy to being gay. I think it seems worse to break up the marriage.
For me, I don't have a call either way. For me, if that woman is married and she decides to do something, that's her responsibility, not the guy. You don't say that guy broke up a marriage. That's her fucking call to make.
If you know the girl's married, you don't think there's anything wrong with hitting on a girl that's married?
That's the same way of acting like, if an alcoholic walks into a bar, do you give him a beer? Yeah, you give him a fucking beer because he makes a choice. You don't make the choice for her. But I'm saying the reason why a lot of people are paranoid around gay guys, and we're still in a transitional thing, is because they feel like they're going to get hit on. And then to do that, particularly when you're on a fucking TV show, I think you should learn to fucking be cool with it a little bit.
Well, it depends on what it is too. Like, there's something about, to me, it was never like a crutch. There was a gay kid that worked at the Comedy Cellar.
You fucked him
for like a year. I
didn't like it. So
Jerked him off. No, but he used to, like, Christina, remember, he used to, like, really profess his, like, interest in me pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem with that, and I mean, to some degree, I think I was like almost like chemically, I was like flattered by the fact that someone. But it was the problem was for months. He eventually stopped doing this, and I don't know if maybe I said something to enough people that it kind of got back to him. Which I hope it wasn't like a nasty thing at all, because I was never nasty. But like the problem was when I'd see him, he'd make a deal about it almost every time. You know what I mean? Like I'd like,
so it could never be
I'd be like,
cool.
"What's up, buddy?" I put my hand like on like his shoulder or something like that, and he'd be like, like, it was like so over the top that you were like, all right,
you kept
man.
putting your hand on his shoulder. That says a lot about it too.
Well, yeah, it's the only way I can come.
Okay, I see. But see, it's lucky that like you're cool about it. If you were some fucking tight ass guy, then they're going to see what I mean. Fucking gay guys won't stop.
We had Mia Isabella, who's a top transsexual on the SDR show, and her stylist, who's also a transsexual, and I didn't know she was. I met her at a strip club one night and made out with her. Didn't know until the next day when she added me on Facebook.
Right.
That it was a dude.
Yeah.
And I think that's dangerous. That's the if I was crazy, I would invite that girl out for dinner and beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, so you would have.
No, I don't. I'm not that guy at all.
Yeah, but you see how that.
I'm saying I think there's guys out there that would. I actually.
No, he was fine.
Emailed her and said, I think for your own safety, you shouldn't do that because there are crazy people out there.
I wonder if that came across as a threat, though.
No. Because then she said, which is my favorite line ever. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were man enough for me." Like she was going to threaten me into fucking her.
Yeah.
I gave a speech to a girl like that when I was
who's that?
Me as well.
That's not the girl. That's the girl who came in. So it was her friend.
Let me tell you something. I'm glad that came up there. Well, first I was going to say I remember I was very young. I gave a girl a speech. She came back to my house. There was no one home. It was late at night. It was dark. It's and we were like hooking up, and it seemed pretty much like she was naked. It was going to happen. I went for a condom, and she was like, "No, I don't want to have sex." And then I gave like a half hour. I'm like, "Hey, that's fine." I was like, "But man, that seems like you just put yourself in a very scary situation." Like that's fine. It's I'm not. That's fine with me. But I'm like, man, why would you get that like deep into a thing without announcing maybe a little earlier you don't want to do more? It seems
do you think it's when she saw your dick?
She seems my dick wasn't out. Oh, dude, I don't put my dick out until moment of. And if you could not see, that's great.
Even then, he's not pulling it out.
And no matter what, I just go. I put it in real quick. And I go, it's not fully hard yet. And I just put it in.
Can you just look away for 8 seconds?
If you weren't so ugly, it'd be harder. It'd be bigger, but I'm not that into you. This Mia Isabella, this was hilarious. So she did the show. Beautiful.
I just told the story in another podcast. It cracked me up, this story.
Yeah. And she was there with her publicist, and we're at Ralph, and Ralph had to run, and the publicist went to go smoke a cigarette outside, and just left me and me Isabella to smoke a bowl. We were smoking a bowl together. As I'm just looking at her across the thing, I'm like, could I? Because here's the thing. I was like, could I get my dick sucked? That was the realistic thing because she has
tits and she has a pretty face.
She has a 10-inch dick. So I was like, could I do it? I wonder if I could. And I'm sitting there smoking pot and thinking, I'm like, maybe I don't know if I could. And then she goes, all right, I have to go to the bathroom and then we can leave. And then I just heard the heavy pound of like a fucking of a hog just dropping a heavy stream. Like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, nope, no, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. But I waited out until I was like, oh man.
It was the weight of her piss that finally turned you off.
I just felt like then I got a real visual of her just holding the 10-inch soft.
Jay has a big thing about piss weight. It's a big thing in his life.
We had a hot Asian girl pee on our feet in the shower though in one of our SDR show episodes. We try to make it weird as possible.
It sounds like it.
And we made sure that we were playing footsie together in the shower while she was peeing
because
on our
in
feet.
between, you have to understand, we have guys from Twisted Sister who aren't going to pee on our feet or squirt.
Yeah, how long of a show do you guys do?
Hour. I try to, we've gone longer, but I always try to cut it at an hour.
Yeah. That's what we should do with this fucking show. That's what we fucked up. Just goes on and on and on forever.
It's people's day.
Chris, I know you're done with your chick and you're looking around right now.
No, not at all. No, I'm still with my girlfriend.
Chris would never.
You hate her?
Chris is one of those guys, he can't even stand the slightest joke about him not being a good boyfriend.
Why does she hit him?
I don't know what happens.
It's the one good thing I have in my life that I haven't fucked up. Everything else is off the fucking reservation.
He's very dedicated And it's like, it's not even like, you will never hear Chris do like a ball and chain bit. Never.
How long are you together?
8 years.
Wow.
7.5.
How old are you?
31.
So how many other vaginas did you experience?
Enough.
Enough
It
means
seems
3.
like there isn't enough. Seems like your thing of yelling enough meant like, this is the first girl you've ever been with.
Definitely not.
This is the first girl you've ever gotten pregnant.
I've not gotten no one pregnant. No
Okay,
pregnancies.
then you got a problem.
No abortions
And
in
he
your
also
life?
won't
You nerd.
use a condom.
He won't use one.
No.
Really?
No, with his chick, of course not.
Not with any chick.
In his life, ever.
refuses.
I've never liked condoms, no.
Who likes condoms?
No
So
one
one night
does.
You do it
stands,
because you
you
have
would
to.
always do no condom?
Yeah.
Really?
Doesn't that freak you the fuck out? A girl willing to do that?
I've
No,
done it,
usually-
but it does freak me out.
My reasoning, if a girl's ever willing to do it, makes me not want to sleep with them because it scares the shit out of me.
She's figured she's got nothing else to lose.
She's got
already
everything.
Yeah.
She's not rolling the dice.
I've done this a zillion times.
I haven't had sex without a condom in 13 years.
Wow.
Not even like a little bit.
Well, why don't we do it once without it, and you can see
How long I
make a
You think-
YouTube video, the
you think
fastest
it
cum
would
shot in
drive you
history.
crazy? Just
I couldn't do it with a girl unless it was like, we both got tested. We were dating for like a year, and
Yeah.
I had complete faith because I'm so fucking paranoid about
sure,
getting
you
something.
really did come of age in the 80s.
Yeah, so you
that's
grew
the
up with that.
80s thing. You know,
Yeah, Corey Feldman hats and AIDS.
he was a hacker.
Yeah, I told them about that. I was
He
wanted
was
by
a
the
break
FBI for
dancer.
good.
Oh yeah, No, he wrote- strip club DJ, nightclub promoter,
Yeah, nightclub promoter.
Peter Gation.
I worked with Peter Gation.
You were in roller disco for
I
a while.
was. I used to go to the Roller Palace and to Metropolis and Club USA.
He owned an Afro and Sideburns parlor, Platform Shoe Factory.
I had a windbreaker factory.
All right, here's the game to play, though. You take 4 years in the United States history, and where would you want to be? Would it be like in the 80s, the 90s, the 70s, the 60s? 4 years you could go back and experience, and you could do it any age you want to be. You could be an adult, you could be a teenager. Where would you want to be? Chris, I'm going to let you go first.
Give me the summer of love. I want right there.
So that means you're going to go 67 to 71.
Yeah.
Girls
exactly.
fashion racism at that time, so
Yeah.
that's good.
I think the world was just too exciting at that time. And I'd be like, I don't know, I'd be like 22 or something.
Where would you be, though?
San Francisco. That's
You would
the
go to
middle
San
of it.
Francisco.
Yeah, I think that's the time you have to be.
Now, I've interviewed a bunch of guys by then. They said by 67 it sucked. They said 65 and 66 was pretty cool because no one knew about it yet. So you got there a little like you fucking got the Bushwick just when all the,
Fucked up.
I would send Chris back to the 80s with his Jamie Lee Curtis hair.
Tears for Fears hair, dude.
shout, let it all out.
You can just walk right on stage with them. No one will notice.
In
Hey, everybody.
violent times. The
That's
summer of
so.
love.
You are busting his balls.
I don't get it.
That's fucking really funny, though. Tears for Fears fucking hair. That's great. Where are you going back?
Oh, I would. I'd like the 70s. I really do. I think when I listen, my best feeling. This is going to be so far in the Fez. That music doesn't move him at all. But like the music that makes me wish I was there when it was happening new is the 70s. And I mean that across the board from like, I always call like the silk shirt rock, like Ambrosia type stuff. I think is
Jesus,
funny.
that shocked me.
Versus like, yeah, but even just like to like, Allman Brothers, like the Southern rock and all.
So you were talking like a 71 to 75?
Yeah, like an early, at the like long hair, mustaches, and
So
big
you're
old-
not even talking about like CBGBs. You're going back before that a little bit, and you're going
Wonder Years.
all
Wonder
right.
Years time, yeah.
Interesting call.
That coming off the Doors, going into the yeah.
I got you. I like it. I like where you're coming from. This it's a very bold move. You're making a bold move. All right, Ralph, what do you got for us?
I got two. So we could pick four. I'm going to pick two. First one, and Jay always gives me shit for this because so many of my decisions in life are based on good fuck times.
You want to redo the 90s?
I would do pre-AIDS 80s, like when before it was like widespread, where basically anyone with long hair was getting laid.
Yeah.
That era, because that also is when aerobics were becoming popular, girls were in better shape.
And starting to trim.
Yeah, and it's starting to trim, all those good things. So for purely physical sex purposes.
Remember when Chris was in the Let's Get Physical video? With his hair?
What the fuck? Wasn't he in the movie Perfect with Jamie Lee Curtis?
I just want to be perfect. Is that so wrong? Yeah, Jamie, you're acting fucking nuts.
A flock of seagull stylist. So that would be number one for chicks. And then I would go like first Black Sabbath album for music era, just to experience that. If I could be in
early metal for you.
Yeah, to experience that, I'd have to like not be in a mental state of awareness that I didn't know was happening. Just that first time hearing it. Like I remember the first time I heard Nirvana and how, even though I was a child of 80s rock, when I heard that album and the first Pearl Jam album, it was so different to me.
And now it isn't. Isn't it weird?
Right.
Like when you go back, you were like, hey, why did they feel so opposite of each other?
Right. Now at the time it was amazing. We were actually talking about that with movies too, how certain movies have in the time space seem so important to you.
It wasn't even as important. We were coming up, I said something about a Johnny Dangerously reference.
Sure.
And we were recounting the jokes of it. You know, my grandmother kicked me in the nuts once. And, you know, when they opened the door on them, and it's all the jokes, and we're laughing in the car, but I'm like, you know what, if there was a new movie that had those jokes, they don't hold up. Like, you will allow...
Comedy is always of its time.
But you will still feel it the same way. When we were watching clips one time, and you played the monkey scene from... Is it Pink Panther? It was a Pink Panther movie.
Oh, yeah, Minky.
Yeah.
Minky.
Yeah, Minky. And it's like,
stupid Minky.
That resonates with you.
Yeah.
So, and it just doesn't hit me because I didn't see it when it came out. I'm just kind of like, I guess it's fine. Yeah, it's like...
You're like, oh my God, yeah.
So he was saying, like, if Airplane came out now, like, what would it do? And it's like, I'd hate all the jokes, but they're funny. They hold up to me. I do think.
My feeling is that the concepts have been beaten to death.
Right.
If that style of comedy had never been done and came out today, I think it would go over. I just think we can't be in that mindset of what it would be like to never hear those jokes that seem so hacky now.
Right.
But it's because we've seen it 100 times.
If Steve Martin would have come out today with the arrow through the head and making fun of show business, it could never have been as big as. I mean, he would sell
but because
out.
there was no precursor to it. Because now there's been so much.
They're all building blocks.
If nobody had those building blocks of comedy for that, I think it would work. We've seen so much of the progression of that. Like Nirvana, if it came out in the '60s, people are like, "What the hell is this noise?" But it allowed that progression because of the way the music developed.
And it isn't just music; it's like the sounds of what the earth sounds like. You know what I mean? Like. People tend to... It's like why younger kids love the electronic dance, and we can't understand it because we didn't grow up with those computer sounds. So we're like, what? Why are you you know?
How do you dance to this nonsense? Yeah.
The only thing I always try to feel like somewhat can still be relevant, especially because I try to relate to younger girls. You know, so I leave like dance music stations on in my shower, so I just feel like I have some sort of relevance to what's going on. Yeah. The only thing when it skews a lot younger.
It's a trail of breadcrumbs to his white van.
Yeah. I don't get the whole. I don't know if you know who Pootie Pie is. Do you know who that is? Nobody here.
No.
You either? Wow. I'm still trying to be relevant to the room. It's this YouTube channel. This kid is from Australia. He has like 30 million followers. All he does is watch video games and comment on them.
Oh, right.
They did a South Park episode about it.
Yeah.
And if you watch them, they're unbearable. But he has 30 million followers on YouTube.
That's what I thought you were saying. Anthony Cumia was going on those websites where people watch people play video games.
No.
They become huge.
No, but it's really weird. I have little kids in my family who watch YouTube videos to watch somebody else play video games. And when I talk about them, they'll say, have you seen this? And they'll call it a show. And they go and watch. One of them watches people build things. I don't know what.
Minecraft. The Minecraft videos are huge.
They're all, and they know the people's names who are good Minecrafters. And these kids are like 7, 8, 9. And then the other one goes and watches other people kill people. You know, he watches the shooting things. And he's bringing it up to me. I'm like, why would I fucking do that?
And some of it is commenters who are watching videos that someone else, like I make a video of me killing people. Right. I put it on YouTube. That gets millions of views. But then somebody else makes a video commenting on my video of killing people, and that'll get even bigger.
That's the most popular thing on YouTube. That guy who talks about like Call of Duty or whatever, he's the most popular single person on YouTube. Yeah. It's like him and then music.
Isn't that bizarre?
Put him on for a second for me.
Pootie Pie.
By the way, I'm going to give you my 4 years, and I'm locked into this. 1776 to 1780. It was fucking tremendous. We're getting things signed. We're making things move.
You know, the other idea, we'd go back to a certain time when you can like get the first Superman and buy stocks in Apple.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm sure you're not allowing that to be part of the puzzle.
No, I wanted it to be more about the experience, not coming back here and being rich. Fez,
And back to the futuring it.
No, I'm not sure what the years would be, but I think like that start of the first golden age of television.
Yeah, that's when they used to beat gays with sticks.
You beat me right to that one. I was going to be like, that was not a good time for the game, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was doing that with my daughter the other day, and she's going, being a woman, no, I would never go backwards. And I'm like, oh, I always forget that as a white guy, the's no time in
good
history.
for a while, yeah.
No time in history I wouldn't fit in.
Basically, you just want to pick to not be in a certain place. You just want to make what place would you be would be more fun for a white guy.
Yeah.
The moment in time is going to be fine.
Yeah.
You know, before you even play this thing, I find this to be, it's eerie how much, as you know, I get a little older and older, that you watch like the youth really are going in a direction of how future movies make it seem like we're going to be a weird society. Like the movie Her. You see Her?
Yeah.
Like how weird society seems like it goes. Seems to be lending itself towards that. Like,
did you see that new
watching
movie?
a constant loop about like people watching video games? That seems like a downfall of society.
There's a new movie that's all it is watching Skype videos of people getting murdered. It's just coming out in like a couple of weeks. And the whole clip is just people Skyping with each other. You're watching Skype videos of a group chat, and that's the movie.
And they're getting murdered?
They're getting murdered by some girl that was killed.
Oh, it's like some fiction thing.
Yeah, it's not a real thing, but it's a new movie. It's coming out.
Fucking brilliant idea to that generation.
Yeah, they're
you know
feeding
what I
that
mean?
generation.
Who probably has more Skype friends than they have buddies in their neighborhood. But you know the thing too of technology, because it flips so fast that the generations are shorter. So it makes sense that you would already feel old, because you don't relate to the people just a few years younger than you. Like when the kids come in here, they look at Chris Stanley as if he were me. There's no difference to them of the time that passed by. Because all of his references, and he likes guitar-based music.
They don't know who Weezer was. The intern class last year didn't know who fucking Weezer was.
Didn't know who you were.
The intern class last year, like 19-year-old girls or whatever. They were like, oh, the band that did Beverly Hills? I was like, I
walked off stage.
You just knocked that down.
I walked off stage of the Comedy Cellar a couple minutes early, like a week or so ago, because I made some reference in my set to New Edition. And I was like, New Edition, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, blank stares. I go, Belle Biv DeVoe.
You got to do a One Direction reference.
I was like, well, Belle Biv DeVoe. I go, all the others, Ralph Tre, and they go, I go, Bobby Brown, and some people like knew Bobby Brown. I was like, I guess I'm just going to, I said, I can't relate to any group of people who doesn't know who New Edition. I'm not saying you have to know their catalog. I'm like, you've never heard of it.
You don't have to say Candy Girl, but be aware of it.
I did that. I did everything I could do, and they were just like puzzled by it. I go, so weird, yeah.
Music does not matter to them. It's not a big deal to them. It's background noise to them. They don't.
Yeah, I heard
by
a radio argument the other day between someone saying that about like being in a relationship, and he was like his girlfriend, like same thing. That music doesn't like emotionally affect. Like, I make decisions where it's like I want to listen to some music now,
right?
And daily. And Nate Bargatze, who we were talking about during the break, I think. Nate's the only person I know in my life that said that to me, though. Flat, he goes, I don't, and I heard Fez say, he goes, I don't care about music. He's like, I don't like it. And the stuff that he will listen to, if he has music on, it's just the most benign. Like, he likes Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? Like, he just likes, he goes, well, that's just the sound that she's fine.
Because she's the sound of that era.
He doesn't go looking for it. He's not a CD guy or have anything like that, or like a playlist. And it's like, I'm so, if I have 15 minutes to get ready, I put music on or something.
Jay was when I went to Jay's house before we came here, and he was listening to the Jacksons' "Can You Feel It?" That's what was playing.
Yeah, I was right into Pantera.
Right into Pantera. Yeah. 5 minutes alone. Jacksons to Pantera.
See, this is why you should just sit and make mixtapes for girls.
the art of the mixtape is gone.
You're taking your pants on and off for 2 hours.
Whoa.
That was such a big thing as a kid for me, to make a mixtape for a girl and try and like woo her with the choices of music
so
that I made.
So she would go, wait, what is that supposed to mean?
And
What
that art is gone.
Is this me? Is he talking to me through this music?
When you were a young dude, how easily you can impress a girl if you just knew a little bit about music before your time. You know what I mean? Like something she's never heard of before.
Well, the girls would like it if you had a passion about the music. If you would say, particularly, if you didn't like just metal. You know what I mean? Like, when guys I don't know why people listen to girl music. Wouldn't you rather be in a band that attracted women than a band that just attracted guys shaking their fist at you? Wouldn't you wouldn't it have been better to have been in Hall & Oates and had beautiful women or the Eagles that showed up?
Sure. I can't believe when a guy who would follow a type of music for the girl, if a guy just says he likes. I had a friend like that. He used to just get club music mixes and blast them out of his car and convince himself he liked them because it got girls.
So you're saying that crosses a line for you?
It's just a weird thing.
Jay doesn't like anything that, at least for my, if it's something that's you're doing for the purpose of getting laid, it seems to bother you.
It really does. It really, really does.
Well, I make so many of my decisions in life.
I always admired that. That was a very Patrice quality that I used to like, and I've had that in my life, or moments like that where I've definitely cost myself hooking up before or something like that, because if I'm hanging out with a girl and she's fine to me and she seems into me and whatever like that, but I see her being shitty to wait staff.
I can't put up with that either.
Or whatever. I mean, I'll really dress him down. And really, it's like being some kind of yeah, you know what I mean? I really give him
I can't stand when anyone treats service people.
I'll give a speech to a girl, a beautiful girl. I'll give a speech to about her behavior being grotesque.
A girl said to me on a date recently, she was, I got to learn to be better to the help. I'm not as nice as you to the help. And I said, why don't you start by not calling them the help?
Right. Or at least blow me while you're bitching about me.
Yeah, I always have my ratio of tolerance to hotness. Right. I think everyone has something like that. All right, she's a little racist, but she has beautiful tits. It's that I have probably a wider ability to accept it than most men, I think.
Seeing entitled people talk to people they deem lower than them is real. I worked with an actress one time. Again, she's fine to me. We actually were quite friendly over the course of the day, but watching her, how she just was
a famous actress.
Yeah, absolutely. And she really was just not nasty, just very curt with everyone. I don't know how else to put it. Everything was when she'd be nice, but then it'd be very someone get me do this now.
You know what? I'm gonna break so I can get her name and look her up on IMDb. Because
I think you're a fan. I think you're a big fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
Absolutely. I'm almost certain you're a fan. In fact,
Holly Hunter acted like this.
A total cunt. The double H train, Holly Hunter.
We're joking about that, Miss Hunter. She's good to people.
Big listener, too.
Yeah, she is. We'll break. We'll be right back, and I'll find out something that Jay's afraid to say on the air. Who this big starlet was.
Wow, must be a really big star.
Yeah. Streep. We'll be right back. Ron Fez.
It's the Ron and Fez Show. Big J Okerson, Ralph Sutton in studio with us. They're getting ready to set sail on Shiprock, the ultimate rock and roll cruise. You can book tickets at shiprock.com. The ship sails February 2nd out of Miami and includes musical performers like Limp Bizkit, Buck Cherry, POD, Seven Dust, Andrew WK, Living Color, and more. You can also hear Big J and Ralph's podcast, the Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll podcast at thesdrshow.com. And before the cruise sets sail, Big J's got dates at the DC Improv next Wednesday, January 22nd through Saturday the 25th, dcimprov.com, and Crackers Comedy Club in Indianapolis, Wednesday the 28th through Saturday the 31st, crackerscomedy.com for tickets for that show.
Yay.
Well, I heard the name that...
And it was Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Big J's name of the starlet who misbehaves. And I just want to say this. I've changed the way I think about this person, meaning I no longer like Big J. Because he's a liar, and he lies about things.
Yeah. Well...
the person he's talking about has done our show before, and she was lovely to us.
I believe you.
lovely down to the point where when she left, we went, I think she wants to date us. She's charming. I always like charming guests. And the most charming people ever that you'll meet, English actors. Guys, when they come into the fucking room.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Well, we never had him on, but any of those guys, you're like, when they leave, you're like, I think that's my best friend now.
It's the accent, though. We just, Americans, we get suckered into the accent.
But they also are very personal with us, you know? Like, they really feel like we're here and we're doing art and then I'm leaving. Goodbye, everyone. And we're like, goodbye. We're like the fucking munchkins waving at the bubble as it's going up
Russell
in the
Brand?
air. Russell Brand is a very charming guy.
Smart guy. Smarter than people give him credit for.
Yeah, he's brilliant, and he also has ideas that don't fit with the status quo. He's ready for a revolution. He wants to turn the whole fucking apple cart upside down.
And somewhere between Jonas Brothers jokes?
Yeah, well, you got to do the occasional Jonas Brothers joke.
That's why I know it always was great when people would only name George Carlin as like this like legendary social commentary and blah blah. I go, yes, but remember in between that there was like fart jokes.
Yeah.
Like, so I said, don't get too preachy ever. Like, you know, at the end of the day, we're supposed to make people laugh too. Don't forget, you know, you thought provoke, but also we got to do a job.
All right, Fez, this is from Boylan from you. He says, we all know that Fez would not want Ron to do the show without him. But if Ron decided to quit, do something else with his life, would Fez go and do another show, or would that be it?
That would be it.
If you left here, you would never do another show?
No.
Would you try and convince him to stay? Or if he says, I'm leaving, you'll be okay with it?
That's it, everybody. Thank you for having me here. It's been a nice, long run. Goodbye. Fez, thank you. It was wonderful. Chris?
Yeah, it was.
Great job loading stuff.
Thanks a lot. I tried. I tried my best, you know?
Never change your hair.
You would never want to do stuff?
No, that would be it.
Yeah, it would be the same way if you died.
So now he's dead. You quit, he died. That seems fair.
Would you get involved in some other kind of business or something?
I don't know what I would do.
I'd like to
but
see.
I wouldn't do this.
I'd like to see you refurbish billiard tables. You know what I mean? Just like
working felts.
Working felts.
Just some random job.
Go in and give it a try now. I think it's perfect.
I make
the side pockets are working, but I'm having trouble with the corners.
I decided to go with red instead of green. I think you're going to love
the
it.
thickness of the pile on this felt. I think you're going to love the way it plays.
So you would not work in radio, but obviously you would work. You would do something.
Yeah, I would have to. I would go do something.
I would be, the Christmas break alone lets me know that I never want to not work because I don't know where I was like the most sober drunk ever. Like I lived exactly like an alcoholic, but didn't have a drink over Christmas break. We got too much time off, and I just found myself doing the same things that if I was hammered, like a guy who lived alone and drank.
Late night
you
pizza.
did the same thing, but you drank, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 2 weeks straight, just blitzed.
Yeah. Well, I did the same thing, but without drinking. But nothing about my lifestyle changed.
I picture if the show, and Fez should do one of the shows like pirated radio out of his home, like pump up the volume, like Christian Slater.
I would love to see you
smoking cigarettes and preaching with like a crazy
Harry hard on.
Yeah,
Have either of you guys ever done the show without each other in the years you've been together? Like since it's been Ron and Fez?
No. Well, when Fez has his heart attacks, I do the show alone. So I've probably done 5 months of radio without you. Yeah.
Yeah, never the other way around.
Have you ever done a show that I didn't come in for?
I did one time years and years ago.
Where was that?
It was in Daytona.
I don't even remember that. How did it go?
It was awful.
Well, we were playing music then, too.
Yeah, we played a lot of music that day. And it was like, I think it was like right before one of the holidays.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was right before Christmas. Yeah, it was a disaster.
I don't think it was a disaster because I don't even recall it.
I guess it was really horrible. You'd remember it, right?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he played more Candlebox than he should have, I don't think that's horrible.
Back-to-back box. Candlebox was on
Shiprocked Veterans. Candlebox.
Yeah.
They played on the private island last year, actually.
What was their big hit, Fez?
Something with a candle? No.
Something involving a box?
See, Fez normally, he doesn't like music, but he will always remember our playlists from different places.
I remember the hit.
There was 2 hits.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the second one, but I remember it's For You, right?
Far Behind, For You,
Far
Changes.
Behind. Now You're Out. Changes no one's ever heard of.
Yeah. Now,
Far Behind was the big hit.
Yeah. You got it, Chris?
Yeah, it's coming up.
So let the people at home know. This is Big Shiprocked.
This is 2 years ago, I think, right? No, last year.
Didn't Madonna discover this band?
Yeah, it was on Madonna's label.
Maverick. Yeah, I remember Maverick. Her short-lived. And then, do you remember who else was on Maverick?
I mean, not off the top of my head.
I am a fire starter.
Oh, Prodigy.
Oh,
yeah. I'm pretty sure that
I did like the Prodigy when it came out.
That was very strange for people.
They were a dance band first, and then they came out with that record that changed everything for them.
That's still kind of dance music.
It was industrial.
It's almost like the closest thing we have to like that EDM music. Candlebox. Them and Puddle and Mutter on the Who Gives a Fuck tour.
All right, Al Dukes tweeted that he's emailed about having Fez on his podcast, but Fez never answered. Fuck you, Al Dukes. We've invited you on this show, and you won't come on even the 9/11 memorial show from when we were all together.
That's why I didn't answer him.
Did he really write to you like that?
Yeah, and he, in his letter, his email, he said that he's doing a CBS-approved podcast, letting me know, don't dare ask for him to come back here, because he's only allowed to do CBS-approved
why don't
things.
you answer people, though, instead of having that thing in your head and then you never told me?
I forgot about it after I got it.
I think you should go do his podcast.
Oh, I'm not doing his podcast.
Have you guys done any other people's podcasts, or don't really do that?
I do other people's shows. Fez never likes to.
No, I don't care to do that.
Fez seems to be very much a homebody.
Jim Norton asked him to do a show with him, like just one day, the two of them come in, and the show was going to be called. And I came up with this idea, the name for it. I'm proud of it because Jim and Fez jizz, and the listeners were going crazy. They're like, "We got to make the jizz show." Jim Norton says, "Yes, I'll do it," and Fez is like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, "Okay, I know that we all work here together, but get it in your head of who Norton is. You know what I mean? Like, that's really a cool thing to be able to." And you said no.
No.
Why was the reason no?
I didn't feel safe doing it. I didn't know. I can trust Jimmy, but I don't know what else is lurking around the corner from that show, like Sam Roberts. So I didn't know what I was walking into.
Like that.
He was afraid of pig's blood being poured on him.
Yeah.
At the prom.
They're all going to
Carrie
laugh
Watley.
at you. They're all going to laugh at you.
Just when you thought you were prom queen.
You think you don't have a rhythm with anybody else than Ron, though, really, right? I mean, you kind of like, you enjoy the rhythm of this show.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nervous thing, too. It's I don't know what.
Do you do interviews? Like if someone wants to interview you for something, do you do that?
No.
Fuck it.
Wow.
You know what's great about you, Fez? You always step outside your comfort zone. And people like that.
When's the last time you did something that you really felt uncomfortable doing?
I will tell you that me and him did a bit when we were down at the stand. Before we went up, we're acting like I was a hypnotist, right? And Fez had his pants off, shirt over his head, doing all this crazy shit. And then the next day we come in for the show and he was nervous. I'm like, what could possibly make you nervous? He was in his underwear while I'm pouring water on him. And then all he remembers is that there were guys down there when we were trying to set it up that was pissing you off. The guys were hanging out and listening down in the stand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like I couldn't feel comfortable. I couldn't work out the way I needed to be in my head because there was just too many people watching that I had no clue.
Did Kristen fuck up? You want me to hit her?
No.
You sure? Not this time, I won't.
Never hit Christine.
Firm warning.
But no one else, you wouldn't have noticed. But Fez notices that kind of stuff. Because I didn't notice. But he did this crazy bit with me that would have made anybody fucking nervous to do. That didn't bother him.
Pants down, shirt up?
Pants down, shirt up. He's pretending he's hypnotized. There's water being poured all over him while he's doing it. He's tweaking his nipples and dancing to fucking Goodbye Horses.
But you're involved.
Yes, I was involved.
You're his pacifier, right?
That's the thing. If I wasn't there, could you have done it?
But I get to a degree. I get that. It's why I say we were talking about Impractical Jokers earlier.
Yeah.
But why I'm so intrigued by that show is like I can't go up in cold. It's about having a rhythm with somebody. You know what I mean? I couldn't go cold, stop people on the street and fuck with them. It's not like really my thing.
You would never do that.
But if we were going to do something, it's like, hey, we're going to go out. Like me and Ralph and Louis J. Gomez are going to go out and fuck with people on the street. I kind of can do that more. You know what I mean? So I am playing. I'm playing to them still. I have like my comfort people with me. Sure, I get that to a degree for sure.
All right, it all makes sense, Fezzy.
Even when me and Ralph will host the things on Shiprocked, like it's not me doing stand-up comedy in the zone of like a club or being on a stage. We'll just host like belly flop contest or something silly like that. I'm very quick and I think almost just flat out ask you. I'm like, Ralph, start this like
you get it.
You have much better like hey everyone, we're gathering people around. I'm just making announcements and calling people over. And
I used to do a million of those things when I lived in Florida though. Like every naughty nighty fucking thing, like because that was always the daytime work, and you could make a lot of money doing that shit.
Sure. We did, which was really worked out well last year. The beach color wars and the beer pong, where you told the guy he had a great ass and made him uncomfortable.
Yeah, I say I don't mind plugging in funny, but like just like directing something.
You think they won't believe you?
It's the same thing. It's why it's also. I love the rhythm of me and Soder. Same thing. Because Soder's a really good, like, hey, everyone, you're listening to the blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, great, I'll just come in, and I'll feed in cock jokes where necessary.
You're listening to the blah, 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 and we're on blah, blah, blah. You don't pay any attention.
Hey, we're blah, blah.
You're on your phone all that time.
Hey, what's up, guys? Standing ovation. We'll see you guys after the break.
I bet her pussy stinks. Okay. See you guys.
That's sour, wet pussy.
All right, all done. But what is it? Why is it weird for you to have someone around, though? What was that about?
Because I lose like when you're there, I have the safety thing. When there's people I don't know there, and I'm thinking about something risky like that.
Every time one of my friends dies, I worry that Fez did it. You know what I mean? I just worry that he thinks. Because you have hated a lot of my friends.
So I became radio partners with an axe murderer?
Yeah.
Do you ever go out like to dinner on your own or go to a movie on your own or anything like that?
I mean, I've done that. But I mean, that's not, on a stage or with a microphone.
Right, so you're okay with being in public on your own?
No.
But I mean, that's going to dinner.
But I've done it.
Oh, okay.
But it's never comfortable for you.
No.
I hate going. Do you like to go out to eat by yourself?
Don't
sit in a
bother
restaurant?
me. It doesn't bother
I have no
me.
problem with that.
Me neither.
No. Yeah, it does. I can do it. I do it on the road a bunch, but I actually very much. I'm a big bring food home.
It's not good for you.
There.
Just be out, enjoy yourself. Go to a nice restaurant. And
sit down by yourself.
Sit down by yourself.
I have no problem.
What do you do to entertain yourself?
Well, you mean
start masturbating at the table?
You're not okay to be sitting anywhere. I mean, you're okay in the airport by yourself. How are you entertaining yourself there?
Headphones.
Yeah, well, put on some headphones and enjoy your meal.
Tweet.
That's what you need.
You can tweet
to people. You need
to
tweet. Take a book with you. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
or just enjoy the meal.
I like to eat food and make eye contact with people.
I've gone to movies by myself a bunch. I do that. Again, it's not like on the road thing.
The weird thing is, even when you go to a movie with someone, you're kind of on your own. It's nice to have someone to talk to the movie afterwards. So you gotta go to me, I have to go to a movie with someone whose opinion I respect, or else I'd rather go alone.
Or when they ask you to explain something that happens during the movie, that drives me fucking crazy.
I can't be a part of that. But I can't stand if I see a good movie and someone go, I don't get it. I mean, what was it, a metaphor? I'm like, oh, jeez.
We just had a debate on the way here because he doesn't want to see Birdman. I thought it was good. He thinks he's going to hate it.
Why are you going to hate Birdman so much?
If his movies are going to be very artsy fartsy and metaphoric and all that shit, I need them to be eerie, David Lynch style, creepy. If it's just you know. She
thinker.
she turns into a black swan at the end. She turns into an actual bird at the end of the movie. Like, I hate that.
But then you love Transformers, and they turn into shit all the time.
I don't love Transformers.
You know what? You don't have to go to the movies. Higgs is going to get you all the boots.
Did anybody see American Sniper?
I'm going to see it tonight, for sure.
I want to see
I saw the preview. It doesn't even look funny to me. I didn't laugh once in the preview. I mean, I did when he was pointing at the kid. I'm like,
well, that's good, because usually they give away all the best funny parts in the commercial, so now you get to be surprised by all of it.
I'm guessing he shoots that little boy. What is it, kid, about 7 or 8?
Yeah, he's a youngster.
Yeah.
I found, it's a true story, so I kind of know the end of the movie now, but I really thought that was a spoiler alert, because I didn't know until I heard Bradley Cooper get interviewed and then says what the end of the movie is. But I guess I should just know the story.
Is Bradley Cooper a raccoon in this one, too? Or is this a spinoff?
He's an Earth raccoon, though. This is it's an Earth raccoon this time. That guy's on a roll. Philly dude.
Yeah, well,
I've told the story to Jay. My friend was married
Ralph
to him.
doesn't like him by proxy.
Yeah. My friend was married to him, and he wasn't very nice. Best to say, just say that.
He used to beat her?
No, he just was not a very. We had go to dinner a couple of times. He just wasn't like a super sociable guy, and
nobody that
very
handsome
rude.
has to put his hands on a woman.
He was. It was before he was after Wedding Crashers, but before he was super famous.
So you kind of felt like he was the guy.
He was
Wedding
Crashers. In fact, I told my friend that was married to him when they were getting engaged. I said, nobody plays asshole that well,
right,
without having that in them.
I remember I hated him in Wedding Crashers. It's like, he must have been so good, because I'm like, I hate this fucking doucheboat.
You know what's funny? He was so hateable in that movie, and you didn't even, it was such a dickhead character, you didn't even view him as like Hollywood, this like gorgeous Hollywood guy.
No.
Dick. Like,
he was fucking hateable.
By the time we did that De Niro movie,
well, I don't.
Is the one where you were like, oh wow, he's like a good looking dude. You know what I mean? It's like or The Hangover or whatever. No, but I'm just saying. But as far as like, he became like a Hollywood, like like good looking guy. Where it was like in that movie, you just thought he was like a dildo.
He really nailed
nondescript idiot.
That's the bottom line. He really nailed it.
But I always like those, I like the guy that you hate so much because he's with the girls with the wrong guy. You know what I mean? Like the doucheboats, where you're like, he's an attractive guy, but we know he's a dick, and I hope Adam Sandler ends up with her.
I also like the term doucheboat a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's actually it's an industry term where they book people as doucheboats.
Looking for a doucheboat. Yeah. Preferably a 40-footer.
Who's the best doucheboat for you?
Craig Kilborn was great in Old School.
Yeah, he was a fucking doucheboat in that. And that was the last time we saw him in a movie.
Yeah. There's no shit.
When he does that good
Joel
talk.
McHale could play a good asshole too. In Ted, he was the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was good in that,
and he was a pretty good asshole.
See, I am now going to agree with Ralph. You don't do that without knowing what it's like to be a dick, because to know what it is that's dickish about you,
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, you got to tap into that kind of thing.
Fez, do you see that anyone that I'm friends with is being the doucheboat that you want to separate me with, so me and you can be friends? All of them.
I think me and Fez should be a couple. So far, I've also admitted that I hate being alone, and I called 2 guys gorgeous on the show today.
See, the thing is, by you saying that you agree with his things means he doesn't want to be with you. He wants to.
He wants the adversarial relationship?
No, he wants to. Oh, if something bad happens, this person can take care of me. He doesn't want to sit next to you with a plane where you both fear the plane's going to go down,
holding each other's hands for nothing.
Yeah,
both sweating.
Both have warm towels over our head from the flight attendants.
Is that why you had that? I thought it was just because you were out of the water for a while.
Rude.
we better get some towels on him before he overheats.
You gotta sponge him. Just gonna squeeze a sponge.
Do they put white towels on you?
Yeah, at one time I got moved. I was like making other passengers nervous because I was in such. Yeah, so I got moved to the back row. They came and whispered in my ear, and they said, "Sir, do you? We think you might be more comfortable in the back where we can, talk to you some more."
We think he'd be underneath with the fucking luggage. Maybe if we could lay out some luggage.
Maybe a pet carrier.
But I had to tell some.
Sneak off the plane like Commando.
I had to tell people to back off of him before when he was putting on a fucking act, because they, people don't like to see on a plane when someone else is freaking out. And I actually said this: "Don't fucking worry about it. I got him over here, and he's fucking fine." You know what I mean? Like. When some people are like, "You better do something with him," I was like, "What?"
Did you see the video of the people freaking out in that crazy turbulence? And they're all like, like telling their people, like their families, they love them. it's all in the description, like, watch people like desperate for their lives, and then you see it, it's like, it doesn't even seem like it's far from the worst turbulence I've ever been in.
I was in a plane once where the stewardess came up to me and goes, "This is not good." Like, she came up and scared the shit out of me.
That would have killed me.
That was the worst.
I always look up at them to see if they're crying.
Yeah, she was
if
freaking
they're
out.
crying, then I'm like...
I had the last row. It wouldn't go back. It was someone had taken a huge shit. So it smelled terrible.
Yeah.
And then she comes up to like near me because that's where the...
Yeah.
She looked at me and goes, "Yeah, this is not good."
Maybe she meant the shit smell, though.
No.
You mean the shit smell, right? The shit smell isn't good.
It's awful. Ben Bailey told me he had an engine explode on a plane he was on once on the wing. I've had, it's funny. The most tired I've ever been on a plane. Thank God, I was almost comatose. Was it even leaving? Like the first shiprock, possibly coming back home. But one of them, like we took off, and I was just out. I passed out before the plane even took off, and then I heard like the announcement that seemed like, I just kind of... It woke me up, and it was just like, we're going to land again, everybody. We're having a major problem with the plane, like engine or something, and we need to take precaution. We're going to land again right now. And they landed and switched planes. But if I was like...
You're normal?
When it was all over, when we landed back in New York, I remember getting off the plane and being like, how did I not... like a drone, I just got off that plane, got the next one, and fell back asleep again. I was so out. It was so weird because... that would usually mean I would be like sitting there like jittery.
Getting on a bus.
Like when it says there's a major problem, we're going to have to turn on. I'm like, can we land? What's the problem? Every time, without fail, and it's funny, I fly so much, I'm just used to these tics. But every time I fly, I'm aware of, I like to hear when the landing gear comes out because I'm like, then I start thinking about it. I goes, I hope it came out of the way and it's not turned because I've seen that happen before. They have to, emergency landings where the wheel's going to break off because it won't land. Everything could possibly go wrong.
You could go down there and kick it though until it's
hanging on the end of it. Yeah.
I wait for the ping at when the plane gets to 10,000 feet.
Like say anything. That's what you wait for the say anything ping.
3 minutes 36 seconds is what it usually takes.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. From takeoff.
Now, do you look at it or do you count seconds?
I will start counting because it's. I've timed it before, and then to keep myself even more occupied, I just count it off.
Now, but the problem with that is the calming effect if it happens at 3:36. In how much does it rattle you if it doesn't happen at 3:36?
Oh yeah, if I get to 3:45 and it hasn't happened by then,
why aren't we high enough?
Yeah, something's wrong.
Talk about irrationality. Also, the time I'm most comfortable in an airplane is when it says we've started our descent into the area, and that's actually, I heard, like landing is the most dangerous.
Takeoff and landing are the worst, obviously. Yeah, landing is probably worse.
Fez, what point do you feel safe enough to start reading your wrestling magazines? Because that's always funny to look over and see.
Is that what you get on
after beverage service?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I won't pull out a magazine until beverage service is done because I use each. I don't want to combine a beverage with a magazine because that's taking up two things at once that can keep me distracted. I have to do them one at a time to space them out.
So you're sitting in silence until the beverage car comes out?
Yeah.
Wow.
But what's happening in your brain? What's your mind saying?
The big thought is that if I look out the window, I'm going to see another plane coming at us.
Oh, yeah. That's
Jesus. I'll tell you what's helped me a lot. Noise-canceling headphones. Just shut off the world.
You don't even want to watch a movie or do anything.
I can't. I've tried. On the JetBlue, they have TV.
Noise-canceling headphones just take everything out.
Even a ball game or something?
Nope. I end up like...
That's weird, because it's very important to me. TVs on an airplane, entertainment on an airplane is crucial. I mean, I've flown to South Africa and Australia before, which are crazy, long, scary flights, but...
You're nuts.
But those, but when I do those flights, they always have like a crazy amount of entertainment. If I go watch a movie, I can get through almost anything.
Yeah, I had a flight attendant come to me one time and tell me not to watch the movie.
Why?
She said, our feature presentation is... a perfect storm. It's disastrous in nature. You may not want to watch.
That's.
Yeah, but you're not on a boat.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. That's fucking fine.
In airplane. But if we go down overseas, it becomes a boat.
Yeah,
and the boat disaster
in airplane,
starts.
they were watching Airplane to bring it back. Remember that was in the movie Airplane.
Oh, they're watching it destructive.
Airport 77. Yeah.
Big destruction.
Ralph, you could actually play young Peter Fonda in a movie. No one's ever brought that up to you?
No. I get a lot of different people that I'm told I look like, but
from here to
Frankenstein,
here,
the big one.
it's a 1969 Captain America Peter Fonda look.
I'll take it. That sounds like a big compliment. I like
it is.
I'm thinking Damien Mizdow.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
From the WWE. He's the Miz's understudy, his stunt double.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that. I haven't gotten that big of a beard
back
yet.
in the wrestling with the video games.
I think it's just the height that you jumped into that.
I get all the told. When I had, I don't know if you know who Pete Steele is. He's he's passed away, singer of Typo Negative. He did a Playgirl spread, and I signed it twice because people thought I was him.
They said he had a big dick, but they meant for a white guy.
Yeah, it was when I had long hair.
So.
His dick was purple. It was so purple.
Chris, can you find his purple dick, please? I'm looking.
Find all the purple dicks you can, Chris.
Purple dick. Google.
See, I think he looks a little bit like young Tom Rhodes.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
When Tom Rhodes had all the hair.
But Tom Rhodes
I'm sure if you typed in Playgirl pic, it would show up.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a scary man.
It's almost like Chris doesn't know how to find dick on the internet.
Yeah, what's going on,
Weird.
Chris? That should be already saved in your shortcuts.
Super weird.
I thought you were the load guy now.
Now you're the load guy.
There you go. No, go right there.
See this guy's junk.
That's a pretty good junk shot. But it is noticeably darker than the rest of his body.
Wow, it looks like he's holding a fake dick over his dick.
Yeah, it doesn't look like his dick at all.
Why can't we see the base?
Yeah.
Why can't I see where his fucking dick meets his body? Why
Where's the root? We
he's
don't see the
literally
root
completely
anywhere.
circling it around. I can make my dick look that big if I push everything back in my body like that.
You know, that just rolled off your tongue. That I don't think it's the first time.
He gets very upset if he doesn't see the root.
Why can't we see the base? Why can't we see the base?
I gotta see where the meat hits the bottom. I'm all about that base.
All right,
you want to show me some dick? I'm all about that base.
Big J Okerson, Ralph Sutton, hear them on Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, the podcast. That's at thesdrshow.com. And join them at sea on Shiprock, the ultimate rock and roll cruise, sailing out of Miami on February 2nd. You can go to shiprock.com to book passage there. Big J Okerson. Yes. Ahoy!
Because it's 1910.
Be sure to be ready for the embarkation.
Bring a giant trunk with you.
Before the cruise, Big J's going to be at the DC Improv. That's next Wednesday, January 22nd through Saturday, January 25th, DCImprov.com. And then Jay's at Crackers Comedy Club in Indianapolis, Wednesday the 28th through the 31st, crackerscomedy.com. And head out to the New York Comedy Crawl tonight, the New York Comedy Crawl to fight Parkinson's. Stop 1 is at Stand Up New York. Big J's going to be at Stop 2, New York Comedy Club, and Stop 3 at the Village Underground with special guests.
All right, Al Dukes is saying, tell Fez I was on their show less than a month ago. I called near Christmas.
I don't remember.
You got to do Al's show.
I am not doing Al's show.
Do Al's show.
Do Al's show.
Guys, since RonandFez.com, I've been a huge fan. Thank you so much for having me
Thank you so much for coming in, dude. Really, really had fun today. All right, that's it for us. See you guys in here tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
That's the end of my show.
Donk.